At the front? I don't know. Maybe I've been using everything wrong the entire time. I don't know. But it's been a while. Minimize that. Hold on. Then I have to go here. Then I have to go this. Normally I have this open as well, and I put that there. My god, everything's working. Even though it's been so long. Wait, that page is up. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Does this work? Does my text box work? I'm not sure if I used my text box on this one now. Where's it? Where is it? Okay. Which chat? Oh. It should be somewhere, no? Did I not save it? It should be the same one that I normally have. Well then, isn't this nice? We get to do a little bit of scuffing before I actually start doing the thing that I wanted to do. What was it on? I was on... Put that there. I thought I did this beforehand. I thought I, like, edited everything. God damn it. Custom widget. Save. The settings. Open editor. No, that's not what I want. I don't mess with that. I don't mess with the scripting. On. The preview mode's on. Why isn't this working then? Properties. 1920. What is it in the other one? Hold on. This is going to be weird, but bear with me for a second. So that one works there. Properties. How big is it? 800 by 800? Why is it not working here then? These are things I should test before I press start, but who cares? Did it go anywhere? Did I overwrite the wrong thing? Will I just have no chat? Should be the same URL, no? It's literally the exact same URL. Maybe 800 by 800 as well. Did I... What if I delete this? Delete that. And then I Control C. And then I come back here, Control V. Oh. Would you look at that? It works. Huh. Huh. Let me turn this off. I got this for free. Save. And then I refresh this. Flash clear. Huh. Maybe. This is saved now, right? Yeah. All right. Yes. That was a test message. Okay, okay. Wow, I did it. Is there a way to clear it, actually? Let me think. That's still working. That's up. That's good. So these are fake messages that are from the clearing thing. They're here as well, too. Whatever. We'll deal with them. We'll deal with them. We'll deal with them. It's fine. So, I had this idea randomly. Because why? I don't know why. It felt funny. It's like a... What is it? That other web browser-based thing? The button? But the button is... What's it is? The button is like more moral dilemmas. It's also like essentially the same thing with like... Do I do one thing or the other? And it'd be funny and I can talk about it and I'm bored. There. And it's this entire website that's built. It's wouldyorather.io. What does .io even mean, actually? Hold on. What does .io mean? Because there's like Slither.io, there's like Tetris.io. I know it's like input-output for computer, but for like a website, what does that mean? Resemblance to a binary. Trend for young software. The tech community has taken liking to IO. It's a nice alternative when the .com name is taken. It's just .com? Alright. I'll take it. Would you rather drive for at least 3 hours a day or play chess for at least 3 hours a day? Isn't this an easy one? I can't think of anyone who would want to drive for 3 hours a day. Unless you're like training to become like an F1 driver or like a NASCAR driver, or you're just some like weirdo who likes driving, no judgment, except for like the whole judgment of being a strange person. I don't see why you wouldn't just want to like actually play a literal game for 3 hours as opposed to a literal chore. No, because there are people who like commute. If you commute for an hour, try for at least. I mean, maybe your commute. Maybe if your commute, if this is like 3 hours including commute, so you can factor in your commute to this, I can see it being okay, because then it's like only another extra hour of driving, whereas this is like you have to do 3 hours take 3 hours out of your day to actually do something. But if you're good at your job, you finish quickly, and then you can just like play chess online for 3 hours instead. I still think this is the easier option. No, it doesn't actually require you to go anywhere. Yeah, I feel like, really, 41% versus 59%. I thought it would be a 60-40 in favor of the chess. Become any character from any game. Become any character from any anime. Can't you just... Aren't there more games than there are anime? No? And then in the games there are some of the characters that like... It's because it says any character, doesn't necessarily mean main characters. You just become like, what? Super overpowered random main character from some random obscure JRPG from the 80s that has all the powers of like every god ever. So it's like essentially the same thing. These are like the same question, but you just have a more diverse thing to choose from here. But does it become any character within the same setting also? That's an interesting question as well. Because if it's like become any character, you could do... You have all the games from before, all the old school arcade games. But if it's become any character from there... I mean, I guess it's not like get any power. I think that's more along the lines that I'm thinking of, which is why it'd be different, no? I mean, is there anyone... I haven't watched anything recently, though. I wouldn't want to be Denji. I wouldn't want to be... Yeah, it's not really anyone I can think of that I'd want to be. Versus, like, for a game, I can't think of anyone, but it just seems more useful. You can just be anyone. Just have, like, literally any superpower. We also have a wider range of things to choose from, though. So unless you want to be like someone specifically, if you can think of someone specifically you want to be, no? Teleport, but every time you do, you slowly lose your eyesight. I'm seriously, you have to eat 25,000 calories. I have to think for this one. I mean, on one hand, how slowly lose your eyesight? Is it like a pixel's worth every single time? Or is it just going to be like, you can do it 3 times, then you just are completely, for the most part, legally blind? This depends, because if you have to force yourself to eat 25,000 calories, then you're going to like suffer a lot. And I can't really think of times when super speed is really good, because realistically, what are you going to use super speed for? Right? Like, superpowers aren't that useful for the most part. If you have lightning powers, you can kill someone, I guess, but it's still illegal to kill people. If you have super speed, you can run real fast and win every Olympic gold ever, but then you're just like, oh yeah, of course he's going to win, or they're going to win Olympic gold. They have super speed, and they have to eat 25,000 calories a day, though, no? And the prestige isn't there. It's like, yeah, of course that guy's gonna win. He has a superpower. Everyone else doesn't. Teleportation I can see being useful if you don't want to like sit on a 16-hour flight. And then the question is, which one do you value more? But I guess you don't have to use them, so you can still... They're like backups. In which case I think this is more useful then, no? Super speed would have to eat 25... How much is 25,000 calories? So I've always watched that video of like that guy eating the Michael Phelps 12,000 calories. That's about half that. It seems like any time you save with super speed is lost in the eating phase. And then you'd also feel sluggish from all the eating you're doing. No, you wouldn't want to run like 17,000 miles on an extra full stomach from 25,000 calories. This just seems like a poorly phrased question because you have to eat 25,000 calories a day to maintain it. Well, if you did miss it, you just not have the power anymore. And then for this one, if you're just completely blind to begin with, is there any downside? You start losing brain function? I don't know. Feels like there's like edge case scenarios where it's possible to just get the full upside of the power without any of the downside. Or the power is just kind of not dumb, but it's a little unfeasible to begin with. Because there's no real use cases for super speed. Everyone expects you to have a car. There's not going to be like a reason to have to travel like the speed of light. And there's also the fact, like, can your body physically handle traveling that fast, or is there going to be some type of physical limitation imposed upon by your skeletal structure and your muscular structure, right? Because there's also air resistance to take account for. Do you just like resist all the effects of friction and air resistance? Are your muscles snapped under the weight of the speed you're going at? Do you have to like run through children? Is this like the beginning of The Boys, where what's that guy? I haven't watched The Boys, but I know about it. Where it's like that guy runs to that guy's girlfriend. He's sued, but he can't be sued because he's a superhero. This just seems bad. Super speed just seems like infeasible as a superpower because there's just so many other like physical, real world limitations. No? 2971, really? I guess people are thinking mainly about the eating aspect. You can eat as much as you want and not really care for it. Would you rather never be able to play any game again? Never be able to watch, stream anything again? YouTube or Netflix? Oh, this is a good question. The last question wasn't good. Even though I sided with the minority on the last question, I don't think the last question was a good question. This is a better question. Okay, so I have to think about what games I play. I play League of Legends. I play old school RuneScape. I play... I guess if this is any game, there's like board games also to take into account. I play card games as well, like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! I should try the Pokemon TCG card game. I should try the Pokemon TCG mobile game, is what I meant to say. That seems fun. I think people were posting about that. That seemed interesting. What else do I do? There's a lot of games I play. So many of them are just like time killers. But I also do play a lot of games while watching / streaming stuff. Which would be like, what would that be? What are the current YouTube things I watch? I watch a lot of Super Eye Patch Wolf. I like my video essays about wrestling and horror and anime. What else do I watch? Been getting into another YouTube channel called Horses lately. He recently put out a video about Genghis Khan that I have to watch. It's another video essay channel. Netflix, I don't really watch Netflix. I still have to watch Arcane actually. Although I'm not like completely spoiled, but I know some important plot elements about Arcane that are major spoilers. So still have to watch season 2 though. The YouTube is really killing me. If it was like Netflix, HBO, you could still watch YouTube, I think it would be an easy never watch stream anything again because I can just watch everything via YouTube. But there's so many games I play. I need to max my old school RuneScape account. Then I need to make a Iron Man and max an old school RuneScape Iron Man. And then I need to play Path of Exile 2 that's coming out because that seems cool, even though I never played Path of Exile 1. And then I have to play Monster Hunter Monster Hunter Wilds, even though I've never played a Monster Hunter game before. When does Path of Exile come out I know there's like open beta. But Path of Exile. I don't see anything about Path of Exile on Steam. I'm currently on it right now. But yeah, I know there's some beta testing, which you pay $30 and you can play the beta, but I don't want to pay money for a game that's eventually going to be free. The thing is, though, if I choose never be able to play any game again, I'm freeing myself of the demon on my shoulder, the ancient curse upon my household that is League of Legends. I have a good excuse for it too. My friends can't like peer pressure me into playing it with them. I'm just not allowed to. It's forbidden by sacred oath to some all-power omnipotent being. But I also do play a lot of games while watching streaming stuff because I've got that ADHD in me. I got the ADHD dog in me, you know? The attention deficit hyper dog, that's inside of me. I'm assuming this counts towards like also watching streams as well, which is also something I do a lot. No games or no like entertainment. Oh God. I don't know, no matter which option I choose, I'm returning to books. But I don't know which brings me more enjoyment. Oh God, but there's like movies. I like movies too. Fuck, this one's hard. This is a good question. I'm expecting a pretty clean 50-50 split. I might be like 51 in favor of never watch stream anything again. Just because I think if, depending on what kind of people have used this website, I think they're more inclined to be the people who play video games just because of the nature of internet discourse. Oh, this is a good question. Because I don't really watch anything else. I don't use Netflix. I don't use HBO Max. I don't use Hulu. Like, the most I've ever used Disney Plus was to watch the Hamilton musical and, like, the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian when that came out. I'm doing that thing. I got my hand on my mouth. I'm looking down. It's the opposite of, like, the grandmaster chess players who look up at the ceiling while they calculate lines in chess. I'm looking down with my hand on my mouth. That's the thinker's pose, that famous statue. It's also the same pose I take on the toilet when I'm taking a poop. Truly the best time to do your thinking. Thinking and pooping go together quite well. Oh fuck. I think I have to never be able to watch stream anything again. I can read synopses. I can read the Wikipedia synopses. Whereas like gaming is a more interactive experience, right? Experiencing a story through television or shows, I can just read the Wikipedia synopsis and I get partially the same thing. But gaming is a more holistic experience. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna have to decide with never be able to watch stream anything ever again. Also, gaming is also like a social thing as well, technically, or like, yeah, gaming is a social thing as well. Have 100 duck-sized elephants. Have one elephant. Can I wait? Hold on. Let me move chat. Yeah, I just realized like this is kind of blocking some of the stuff. Have one elephant-sized duck. One elephant-sized duck. What kind of duck? Is it like the duck that I can like make Peking duck out of? Feed a family? Duck-sized elephants. Do I have to care for them? What do elephants eat actually though? Because I'll have to like take care of these creatures. Then I kind of need to know what they eat. What do elephants eat? What do elephant diet? Elephant diet. This better not bring me to like some obscure diet about like you only eat, I don't know, trees or something. Grasses, small plants, bushes, fruit, twigs, tree bark, and roots. What do ducks eat? Do ducks eat grain, or is that just something that's like force-fed to them so we can eat pate? They eat seeds, invertebrates, fish, worms, frogs, beetles, berries, buds. I don't know. I think diet-wise, elephants seem much more low maintenance because they don't have to eat all of that other, the seeds and everything. You know? I don't want to go looking for like invertebrates, fish, worms, and frogs. I mean, I guess you'd have to acquire enough of those to feed a elephant-sized duck as well. Like the logistics of having one elephant-sized duck is terrifying, whereas the logistics of having 100 duck-sized elephants is less terrifying, and you can give them away as pets, and they're not like white elephant gifts where they have a terribly high upkeep cost for no real value. This could be like a garden elephant. It can like take care of the debris, mow the lawn a little bit by eating the grass. As long as this question doesn't ask about doesn't care about the climate, and you can keep the elephants in whatever climate you're in. I think, because I don't think it's very conducive to the climate where I live, or the climate where I live is not very conducive to the well maintenance of elephants. Why is that sentence so hard to form in my head? Yeah, so you can have 100 duck-sized elephants. You can give them away as novelty gifts. Whereas if it's much harder, it's probably easier to find someone to take a couple of duck-sized elephants than it is to find someone to take one elephant-sized duck. Unless this is like the same type of duck that you make like roast duck out of, then maybe you can butcher it and eat it. But I don't think there's going to be a chef in the world who's going to be familiar with the preparation of an elephant-sized roast duck. Oh, I didn't get my split. Really? 55% of the people would rather have one elephant. I gotta see the sample sizes on this question. I feel like it's gonna be, wait, what's 55% in terms of like a fraction? What's the least common denominator? Is it like 11 out of 20? It's 11, yeah, it's 11 out of 20. I feel like that's like a question you show 10 people, and I'm one of them. Lose the ability to talk, lose the ability to walk. I think it's just I'd rather lose the ability to walk. I don't need to walk. I can be in a wheelchair. Think about it like this. If you lose the ability to walk, you can amputate your legs, and then you can... I don't know where I'm going with this, actually. I mean, I guess... Is it ethical to eat your own body part? I remember reading about someone who did that, where he had to get like a piece of his body removed, and he asked the doctors if he could keep it, and he ate it. I think that... If you lose the ability... You can just be in a wheelchair. But the thing about losing the ability to walk is like... I'm assuming I'm losing most lower body motor functions, and I'm one of those people that squirms around a lot and needs to always like move my leg. So I'm not sure if that urge would like transfer to like my hands, but even then I still have that urge as well. Maybe. But being in a wheelchair would be nice. Actually, no, that doesn't sound nice. Why did I say that? I mean, I guess you got your seat with you all the time. You'd have to spend more energy to like keep your upper body more physically fit, but you just go to the gym anyways. I suppose that'd be a bit of a hassle, but it's not too much worse, no? Like, I guess if you lose the ability to walk, you also don't have to do leg day in the gym. And like, as much as I joke with my friends about how I love doing leg day, I kind of hate it sometimes. You just spend more days doing upper body instead, and then you can, and then the contrast, the small lower body, because you can't walk, you can't use your legs. Large upper body, and it looks better aesthetically. Unless this is like, you can't walk, but you can still like use your legs and you swim. But I think they mean lose motor function in legs. That's how I'm interpreting it. Losing the ability to talk would just be depressing. You wouldn't be able to like do anything. You'd have to like write everything down, right? Or you can sign. You can do like the sign language, you know? I know a little sign language. I know how to tell someone to fuck off in sign language. You just flip them the middle finger. A lot of my friends in college actually took sign language because there was always the foreign language requirement, and sign language did fulfill the foreign language requirement. I took German, so you know, I'm already going half deaf anyway, so maybe like being forced to use sign language wouldn't be too bad. But I could always just teach myself it even when I'm fully hearing. Yeah, lose the ability to walk. I don't need to walk anywhere. We have cars for this and like robot arm. Really? I guess this website is like, I hate how it does. Can I change the settings so I can linger on it a bit more? I can't. I want to look at the percentage for longer. 60% would rather lose the ability to talk. But then you're like losing your connection with the outside world. You're losing your human touch. How are you going to communicate with anyone? You have to like do everything by writing. You have to make like edgy Tumblr blogs dialoguing your inner feelings about being someone who traded the ability to talk for the ability to walk. Like, you're losing the freedom of expression unless I guess you could draw, but drawing is different than talking. Talking is a completely different ballgame. But I guess you have a good excuse to avoid social interaction. You could just say, oh, can't talk, so... If this website was just taken by a bunch of like introverted people, I could see that being an argument as well. All right, what is this next question? Only wear one color each day. Have to wear 7 colors each day. This one seems like you can cheat it, no? Can't you just like buy rainbow underwear? This one is cheatable. Does it have to be exactly 7? At least 7, at most 7. They haven't specified a condition on this right-hand side. Because only wearing one color each day is much more constraining. I mean, I guess your laundry becomes easier. You don't have to worry about colors mixing. I don't even think that's real though. I've never experienced it personally. But wearing 7 colors each day just seems like you can cheat it. Is plaid a color, or can the plaid be made of different colors? Maybe you can have like a headband as well. You have to keep the 7 colors on you on all times. That could be a little bit annoying. If it has to be 7 colors on individual articles of clothing, then yeah, it can be annoying. But there's still ways to like min-max this. You can wear different colored socks, right? That's already 2 colors covered. Different color top, bottom, that's 4. Underwear is a 5th color, right? And then you can have 2 more colors. Wear fingerless gloves. 2 different colors of fingerless gloves. You'll look ridiculous. But you can just say like, but if you're fashionable enough, you can say it's like avant-garde or something, and people will believe you, and they'll take pictures of you and put it on like the streetwear Reddit or something. Be like, this person wears 7 colors every day. You could turn it into an art exhibit or something. I don't know. But it seems like there's ways to cheat this question. Whereas the only one color each day is much more constrained. I'm assuming it's everything you wear has to be one color, which I guess if you're goth is not like that big of a deal. What color underwear do goth people wear actually? I would assume black, just because that's the whole look. But I guess like, I don't know. I've never seen a goth person's underwear. 7 colors each day seems easier if we're like cheating a little bit. But if it is in like the 7 different colors, all on individual pieces of fabric or garments, the types of clothing, it's still cheatable. Do glasses count as clothing actually? Because you can wear sunglasses too. You can wear like stylistic frames solely for the aesthetic of it. You could also wear like a headband or something. If you can grow your hair out, wear like a what are those things called? Headband. There's another thing. There's a hair band, not a headband, a hairband. And I guess if you what even is clothing? You can have a shawl as well, a cape, a jacket. You can move to like Antarctica. That way it's very easy to have an excuse for wearing multiple different colors or multiple different like layers of clothing. Yeah, this is an easy question. If it's exactly 7, it becomes weird because you have to do exactly 7. But if it's at least 7, it's not as bad. All right, I understand what people are thinking, that that the second option was easier, only one color. But the only one color part is more restrictive if you think about it, no? I guess it's not that bad because you just wear the same thing all the time, like a cartoon character. Only speak in Morse code or only speak in binary? I don't understand this question. Binary is not like something you speak in. Binary is not a language. Binary is a number-based system. It's the numbers based too. Does he mean ASCII? Do they mean like ASCII ASCII? Make sure I'm not doxing any information here. Yeah, I think I'm okay. If they mean ASCII, then it's not too bad. Everything corresponds to something else. It would take a long time to say anything though, but there's a lot of different concepts you can communicate with ASCII. Because I'm assuming this is what they mean by binary. Because you can't just say like 1011100001. You're just speaking in numbers. You'd have to have some way to translate that into like some intelligible language that somebody else understands. Unless you're like the computer whisperer, you get up really close to the computer and you whisper 01001101010, and then the computer purrs a moan of pleasure, and then it performs better or something. I don't know. That just seems weird and vaguely erotic though. But like speaking in binary is nonsensical. It's like saying speaking in numbers. No? Because again, binary is just a way to represent a number. It's not actually a language unless we do this like all ASCII table conversions. And ASCII is this just takes too long. By far, Morse code is better. It's like 3 things. Tap is like short, long, short. Every grouping of I think it's 3 represents 1 letter. But I guess this is only English, and with binary, if it is ASCII, there's probably ways to convert it to different languages as well. So maybe you can just like cheat code understand every language ever, or be able to speak every language ever only to computers though. Speaking Morse code just seems more convenient though. Your mouth gets less tired. Yeah, this is the first one where I'm not surprised that I joined the majority here. Have tongues for fingers. Eh? Have a finger. Yeah, what the fuck? Have a finger as a tongue? Will it have taste buds? Yeah. Does that mean like my tongue's a fat finger? Ew. Oh, yeah. Have tongues? Oh, God. Does that mean I'm licking it? Oh, God. I don't want to. You give someone a handshake and their fingers or tongues are just licking your hand. Oh, God. And you taste the sweat on the other person's palm. Oh, that's so gross. No. Like, I hope there's taste buds on this finger because I'd rather have this. This isn't as bad as like having to endure the taste. You have to go to the bathroom in public. Oh God, ew. Good Lord, no. But I can't imagine like somebody opening their mouth and where their tongue should be, it's just a long, wide, fat thumb. I mean, I guess it could be useful. You can, if you really needed to like hang on to something with your mouth. You can have your tongue finger hold it. You can curl around it as like a little, I don't know. For some weird reason, maybe that's something you need to do. What else could you do with the finger as a tongue? This question is kind of weird, actually. I think almost no one should pick this, just from the implication of having to like lick things in public with your tongue fingers. Ew, the sliminess of it. I'm assuming they're going to be properly moisturized in saliva as well, and mucus, because you don't want. Having a dry tongue fingers just sounds terrible. Winter is already hell for me, and because I have dry skin. Having a dry tongue skin just sounds like actual inferno levels of hell. Speaking of, I should probably moisturize my hands. It's getting kind of cracked. But having a finger as a tongue doesn't seem as bad. Just like you can't really taste anything. Okay, good. I picked. Most people sided with the sane option. I'm the one that decides what the sane option is. Have everyone judge think about everything you do. So just like live as a paranoid person, or just the person with like anxiety issues. Have nobody care about you at all. Hell yeah, have nobody care about me. Actually, wait. Do I want to embrace the cold, unfeeling void of the universe? Well, this doesn't mean have everyone think negatively about everything you do. Maybe they're like, hell yeah. Maybe they're all secretly cheering you on. It would be pessimistic of me to assume the worst and assume that everyone would think of like the things that I do as the worst. No? Because like, I don't really... Who is everyone though? Like everyone in the world? Does my life become a Truman Show where everyone's like writing deep character analyses based off my every action, and where I'm constantly observed? Is this what the scholar Foucault talked about in the Panopticon? No, that's a completely different concept. Never mind. Everyone judge what are things that I do that would be strange? I feel like the initial shock value would be terrifying at first, but as like more and more people get used to the idea of thinking about you, they just stop caring. The more normalized they are to contact with you, the less they'll care. Because it doesn't say have everyone always think about everything you do, but everyone just think about everything you do could just be like a quick 1 second judgment, and then it passes their mind and they don't care about it. I think most people are more concerned with themselves than with another person, so their judgment will be quick and minimal, and then they'll move on with their lives. Whereas this one is already kind of true, but it also like cuts you off from the joy of human connection. This is what watching Neon Genesis Evangelion taught me about the joys of human connection. Wait, let me make sure. Yeah, Neon Genesis Evangelion. I would rather have this one, just because like having friends is cool, I guess. Having nobody care about you at all is kind of a default state, but like not always, because you can make friends. I'm in the minority, in the slight minority, but I think my reasoning is sound here. Face your biggest fear once, have constant small fears daily. For some reason, I read this as face your biggest fear once and then have constant small farts daily. I'm like, well, that's just living my life, bro. Face your biggest fear once. What is my biggest fear? While I think about this, I'm going to go get some lotion for my hands. Dang, my... What is my biggest fear? It would be... Maybe my biggest fear is like... Sitting on the toilet and having like a Godzilla-sized ant bite my ass off while I'm trying to poop. I don't know, that's pretty scary. Constant small fears. This just seems like one of those questions that's essentially some aspect of being a paranoid schizophrenic or some type of anxiety disorder. Big fears. What's another big fear? Heights are pretty scary. I don't know if it's my biggest fear though. I've been like in an airplane before. It was high up. I looked down at the ground. I thought it was cool. Can I like cheat the system and say, oh, I'm terrified of winning the lottery? That would be cool. I'm terrified of winning $4 billion in the lottery. Oh no, I don't know what I would do with all that money. It stresses me out all the time. It's just so dreadfully frightening. What about all those people that would show up in my life who've never been there before, claiming to be distant cousins and asking for some portion of my winnings? Oh no, my biggest fear, winning the lottery. Oh no, I have to face it though. One day the day will come when I'll have to face my biggest fear of becoming a multi-billionaire via lottery. Also, just generally, I don't know what my biggest fear is, but it seems like a one and done is better than just like the constant existential terror of existence that is facing small fears on a daily basis. Go without shampoo for the rest of your life, or go without a comb brush for the rest of your life? What if I just become bald? I know I've like done a couple of bits mocking bald people. Wait, do bald people soap their scalp or do they shampoo their scalp? I gotta look this up. I have a question. This is the burning curiosity of mankind within me. Do bald people shampoo their scalp or soap it? Many bald people, I would hesitate to call bald people, many bald beings. I'm kidding, this is a joke. I'm not actually like racist against bald people, I think. Use shampoo to cleanse and hydrate their scalp. Even though you don't have hair, you still need to take good care of your bald skin. Does that mean I should be like shampooing my armpits as well? Should I be shampooing my pits? If bald people shampoo their scalp, should I be shampooing my pits? Even though you don't have hair, you still need to take good care of your bald skin. Choosing shampoo for bald head care is similar to what you would do when selecting a product for your hair. Bald people use shampoo, and its purpose is not to clean hair, but control oil levels on the scalp. Oh. I guess that is true. I guess your hair follicles like do absorb some amount of like scalp oil that I've never really considered before. Ew. I'm just imagining like a bald person who doesn't take good hygienic care of themselves, and their scalp's all shiny and slick with oil. Ew. Anyways, go without shampoo for the rest of your life. Go without a comb or a brush for the rest of your life. I mean, I don't really need a comb. I don't really have long hair-ish. I just kind of pull it back with my fingers. And then there's also like a lot of different kinds of hair care products for men that help style it without the need for combs or brush. Right? You can use like hair lotion, just the hair creams, different hair things that help you style it without a comb. I mean, the comb and the brush help, but you don't need them. Whereas shampoo is just a hygienic thing. Comb or brush is nice for style. Would be nice for styling, I suppose. And I guess there is some amount of hair care in there, but I never really keep my hair long enough to the point where it's in desperate need of combing or brush. Whereas if I don't use shampoo, I'm gonna feel like a gross doo-doo head. So I'm expecting. This question just kind of comes. No, but even if you have long hair, you would still probably prefer to have the shampoo than the comb and the brush, because you still want, if you have long hair, that's more hair that needs to be kept hygienic. No? Am I crazy? I'm not crazy. It seems the majority has agreed with me, unless this is like a question that 3 people have taken. Live during the Renaissance, or live during the Industrial Revolution, live during the Renaissance. What the fuck? Why would I ever want to live during the Industrial Revolution? Why would I ever want to live during like the time period and people are discovering, hey, the kids should work in the factories from when they're born to when they die? Hey, you know who make really good coal miners? Children. Hey, you know who make really good sources of cheap labor? Toddlers. Hey, I have a machine that would increase the factory's output efficiency if we burn children in it. No, I don't want to live during the Industrial Revolution. Ew. That like also reinforces the Industrial Revolution is why school is like from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I think something, or like it has some bearing on it. I think during the Renaissance, I mean, yeah, I'm probably not gonna be like the Michelangelo or Michelangelo or what are the other turtles' names, or Leonardo or Raphael or Master Splinter. But you know, you can have a good time in the Renaissance without being a mutant ninja turtle who's also happens to be a teenager. You can still like live a decent life as like a farmer, and yeah, you'll be poor, but you can exist is what I'm trying to say. And you can see a resurgence of the arts. Maybe you'll like walk by Michelangelo. I don't know. Yeah, no one wants to live during the Industrial Revolution. Yuck. What are you, some type of factory fetishist? Sneeze uncontrollably for 15 minutes every day at a random time. Suddenly become completely naked for 5 minutes once a month at a random time. Sneezing uncontrollably seems better, no? This just seems like if you're in the wrong place, you would just actually be put on like a sex offender list, no? You're just like walking by, I don't know. You're just walking by a school, and this is you gotta, this is your time. And then you just become a sex offender. You're just literally, or you're just even without it in school, just you're in a crowded place. You're just a public indecency. It's like, this is actually criminal at some times, unless you literally never leave your house. But even then, you still need to go outside every once in a while. Sneeze uncontrollably is inconvenient, especially every day at a random, and waste you more time, but it's not criminal. It just means you get sick easy and you want to spread your germs. Yeah, I don't want to be naked. Unless you're like, live completely in a nudist colony. That question is easy. Be famous when you were alive and forgotten when you die. Be unknown when you're alive, but famous after you die. I'm assuming the fame here is for good reasons. It's not like, oh yeah, you were famous for being like the person with the poopiest pants or something. Yeah, I'm assuming this is like, oh yes, the art you made, whatever the content you created as alive, was very popular in its day. But like it could be a bad thing to be famous when you are alive, because then you get mobbed by the paparazzi, like all those actors. But I guess it also depends on the level of fame, because there are different levels of fame, right? Like, obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio is an A-list celebrity, Cillian Murphy, A-list celebrity, Florence Pugh, A-list celebrity, Ana de Armas, all these A-list celebrities, all these other big pop stars, BTS, New Jeans, all those other K-pop groups. These are all like, I guess I wouldn't call certain K-pop groups A-list celebrities, but they're approaching that status, right? They're superstars in a sense. And then there's also like famous in the sense of like internet famous. You're famous in your niche, right? You go to some random person on the street, you talk to them about Leonardo DiCaprio, they're probably gonna know who you're talking about. And Leonardo DiCaprio is like very famous. You go to someone on the street, you talk to them about like Gargura, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is a Karlura? And they're gonna look at you like a crazy person, right? Which the levels of fame are different, and what's perceived as famous is different depending on like level of impact and all these other things. I mean, I'm going to be forgotten when I die anyways, no? No matter what happens, you're going to be forgotten when you die. Even if your name endures in history for a long time, eventually it will be said for one last time and you will die once more. So if I'm going to be famous, if I'm going to be any level of fame, I would like to enjoy that fame while I'm alive. Like, who cares if I'm famous after I die? I don't care if they write about me. I'm not going to be alive to experience the perks. The restaurants won't give me free meals. I won't get like free upgrades on flights to business class or whatever it is. You know? Stay isolated for the rest of your life. Have no privacy for the rest of your life. What do they mean by? Do they mean like complete solitary? And do they mean like Truman Show? This is similar to that other question where it was nobody cares about you versus everyone thinks about everything you ever do. This is similar to that. Like, if you want to stay in solitary for the rest of your life, I'm pretty sure studies have shown that like that's actually terrible for you. You will quite literally go insane and start hallucinating. So I enjoy the limited amounts of mental health I do have. I enjoy being somewhat sane a little bit. And also like staying isolated for just like where would I rank Neon Genesis Evangelion? I like Steins Gate more. I like Gurren Lagann more. Neon Genesis Evangelion and Gurren Lagann are fundamentally the same show when you think about it though. I like... What else do I like more? I didn't watch Frieren, but I would assume I would like Frieren more than Neon Genesis Evangelion because I like the manga. Actually, do I like Frieren more? Debatable. There's for sure other shows that I like more though. Do I like FMA Fullmetal Alchemist better? Maybe. But anyways, the point I'm getting at is Hideaki Anno taught me that having friends is good and making human connections is good, even if there's a cost of being hurt. Human intimacy, the social connections that people make, good thing. As a matter of fact, humans are in fact gregarious creatures. That is why we live in a society, because humans like to have company. I should close that tab. I guess all these questions have separate IDs. I'm just kind of thinking about how this website works. I guess every question is given a separate ID. Have no privacy for the rest of your life? That's just being a superstar, man. That's the price of fame, baby. Yeah, all these people, they're like, ugh. I'm a lone wolf. I'm an alpha. I'm gonna be alone forever. Ooh, I'm gonna go watch the Shadow the Hedgehog movie by myself because I have no friends. Ooh. and they don't realize solitary confinement is literally like a punishment for prisoners, for the most depraved, for like even people who have committed the most depraved acts of violence against their fellow man. Solitary confinement is in fact a punishment for them. Wait, I did this question already. I did this. They did be any video game character versus be any anime character. They did this question, or they did a version of this question, but I guess this is more specific. So I had to think of characters I'd want to be then. Be a character in your favorite video game. What is my favorite video game? Wait, what is my favorite video game? Holy shit. Is it old school RuneScape? Is it really just old school RuneScape? No, it can't be. I've played so many other video games. I really liked Persona 4 Golden. I really liked Yu Narukami was funny, I guess. Hold on. Holy shit, why am I forgetting every game I've ever played? Pokemon games are cool. But I don't want to be a 10-year-old. Actually, would it be your favorite video game character in the video game world? Hello, Roy. How are you? Ignore the random chat messages on my screen. This question is very niche. Nice. Yes. They had a similar question, but there's things that this question depends on. Like, I could technically be my favorite. If my favorite video game were Pokemon, then I could be a 10-year-old boy running around chasing Pokemon, right? But if it's only in this world, then I would just be a 10-year-old kid who wants to go catch bugs or something. You would 100% choose video game? Why? You don't want to be... What if your favorite movie is John Wick? You don't want to be badass Keanu Reeves, hitman John Wick? I think being John Wick would be cool. Or maybe your favorite movie is I guess a major thing in a lot of movies is there's always some type of conflict, whereas in video games, if your favorite video game is Animal Crossing, then you can just be the villager, and you can own a home and pay your raccoon landlord in bells, and it wouldn't be that bad. I could see a compelling argument for video game. Are there any movies where nothing happens, though? What if my favorite movie is the hit Adam Sandler movie, Click, where I get the controller to control time and I learn a valuable lesson about enjoying the present? That doesn't seem so bad. Or what if my favorite movie is Bruce Almighty, where Jim Carrey gets all the powers of God for a while, and then he learns a lesson that being omnipotent is not such a great deal, huh? What video game would you choose, though? Because the thing here is, if I'm going to if I'm forced to make a choice between one of these two options, I have to have a compelling character that I'd want to be. And I also don't even know what my favorite video game is. I'm for sure not saying my favorite video game is League of Legends. That's 100% for sure. Oh. Mystic Messenger. I've heard of that game. Is that a phone game? It is a mobile game. Oh no, it's the South Korean otome game developed by Character. It's released on July 8th, 2016 for Android and August 18th, 2016 for iOS. Oh no, not the Korean otome gachas. Dating sim? Oh no, not the dating sim games. Hold on, wait a minute, you might be onto something, Roy. Maybe being a dating sim pro tag would be cool. But again, it doesn't say be a character in your favorite video game in the video game world. So you could just be some regular otome game self-insert pro tag, except in the current world where it's just being a normal person, right? You're not surrounded by the cute boys that want to woo you. You're just surrounded by random strangers like you are every day. But you're just a self-insert character now. That's my qualm with this question. If it was be your favorite character in your favorite video game in the video game setting, then I might just choose Pokemon so I could be a 10-year-old going around doing pet battles. See? I'm dissecting these questions. Whereas I don't know. But if it's be inside your favorite video game, be the main character, or be the character in your favorite video game, you want to be the hot and genius guy? Easy. Hot and genius guy. You've just described a fifth of every otome game's dateable cast. There's always hot genius guy, and then there's hot sports guy, and then there's hot business guy, and then there's also what is there? There's hot personification of death. There's always hot cold guy, hot tsundere guy. Hot genius guy is literally a fifth of every otome. And yeah, there's also the rich guy as well. And then there's hot yakuza rich guy. You can't just say hot genius guy. That's quite literally a character trope for every otome game ever. I'll choose favorite video game just so I can be Animal Crossing villager and I can have Tom Nook as my landlord. The death one is a good one. I wanted to bully that man more when I played that game. You know a lot about Otome? Why wouldn't I? It's just you take the what is it? You must be a fan. I know a few things here and there. I know a little bit because Otome is just basically like harem visual novels, except you reverse the roles a little bit. You know, if you know a lot about one of them, you know a lot about the other one. There are obviously tropes that may not carry over, but they fundamentally apply the same rules. Am I a fan? Not really. I just know a few things. I haven't played my fair share of Otomes. I don't have enough time to. I don't have enough time to read like 100 hours worth of dialogue to date other men. Have your dream car, but you can't use it. Have a bad car with infinite gasoline. Hell yeah, this is easy question. Easy question. Bad car with infinite gasoline. Never have to pay gas. My dream car. What if my dream car is a good car with infinite gasoline, but I can't use it? Bad car with infinite gasoline gets me places. I don't mind. But yeah, dream car, but you can't use it. What's the point? You're just like a car collector. But the whole point of having a car is functional as opposed to a luxury good. Be able to experience any book, movie, or TV show for the first time again. Be able to forget any embarrassing moment you've ever had. What are my embarrassing moments? Maybe if I've already erased all of them from my mind. Embarrassing moments. Well, oh no. Oh god, oh no. I'm gonna confide in you guys. I was 7 years old. My mom was picking me up from 7th grade. As she was picking me up from 7th grade, she was holding my hand. I was walking out. And like most children do when they were young and 7 years old, my nose was itchy, the inside of my nose. So I reach out, put my finger in my nose to start picking it like a 7-year-old does. My mom looks at me, stops my hand, nose, like, yeah, don't pick your nose. And then I look around, and a person from my class, a girl from my class, heard my mom say that, looked at me, and made the most disgusted face imaginable. That memory is forever carved in my mind. That memory is the core of who I am as a person. The heart of my trauma. The beginning of the end, when I was officially became known as Cooked. Oh good lord. I can never forget that memory. I hold on to that. It gives me strength to keep going in the dark times, and maybe one day I can be better than that. Anyways, be able to experience any book, movie, or TV show again for the first time. You'd love to watch Hunter x Hunter for the first time again? You see, I can watch Hunter x Hunter for the first time because I've never watched it or read it. The thing that like turns me off from reading / watching Hunter x Hunter is the fact that it's one of those shows that's never gonna be finished. Because I've heard like, oh yeah, it's amazing. The Chimera Ant arc, oh, it's fantastic. The Lost Continent arc, oh my god, it's amazing. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's extraordinary. But I'm like, yeah, but it's also like kind of long, and it's never going to be finished. So, maybe Chainsaw Man. I would read Chainsaw Man again. Experiencing it for the first time was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. And then there's also any good movies I watched. Everything Everywhere All at Once was really good. Experiencing it again for the first time. I mean, I guess I could watch it now because it's been a while since I've watched it. Interstellar was also a fantastic movie. Chainsaw Man, I read the first time at like 1 a.m. in the morning. I finished at like 4 a.m. or whenever. And then I started reading it over again. I was enthralled. I was crying. Maybe Chainsaw Man, yeah. I would say this simply for Chainsaw Man. Also, I think this is always going to be my answer. I don't mind remembering embarrassing moments. They're in the past. They can't hurt me anymore. But like being able to experience a piece of media for the first time again and have that wonder, that joy, the beauty of emotion again, I think that pushes it over the top. Yeah, most people are choosing the correct answer, siding with me. Never need to sleep, never need to eat. Easy, never need to sleep. I would much rather have this. Because, like, if you never, like, part of the joy of eating is being hungry and it makes the food taste better, right? I eat because I like to eat. And that might be like a gluttonous thing to say, but it's true. Eating is good. I like sleeping too, but I like sleeping because like I don't like being tired. But if I just never got tired in the first place, then I wouldn't need to sleep. I'd also have more time to like do other things with, right? If you didn't need to sleep, you could just stay awake for all 24 hours of the day. You just needed to eat to keep going. You'd have so much more time to do things. Or if you're like me and you have like a fucked up circadian rhythm where you have to sleep 14 hours and be awake for like 20 hours, then this is no problem anymore. If I never needed to sleep, there's so many things I could do. Whereas never needing to eat is not a time save, and it also deprives me of one of the joys that I have in life, good food. I mean, it doesn't say that you don't need to eat or that you can't eat, just that you never need to. But still, never need to sleep just seems better. I think this is what I would say this is like a 70-30 split for sleep versus eat. Oh my god. They call me Mr. Prediction Man. I got that one perfectly. Be a master of calligraphy versus be a master of origami. Master of calligraphy versus master of origami. What are the benefits, though? What are the benefits? I mean, the thing with calligraphy is you need a brush. And I feel like you need and you probably also need to know the language you're doing calligraphy in, right? What does American calligraphy look like, actually? Because when I hear calligraphy, my mind instinctively goes to like Asian languages. Yes, you can do like a fountain pen calligraphy. I forgot about that. Yeah. I think being a master of origami would be cooler though, because then you can you're stuck in a jail cell. Why? I don't know. And you just start folding paper. You fold the paper into the key to the jail cell with your mastery over paper and origami, and then you take yourself out of the jail cell. Now, I don't know why you're in jail in this fantasy scenario that I've made up, and I don't know why the guards would let you, a master of origami, have access to paper, or why they would let you walk out of the jail cell once you've unlocked it. But I don't know. It's a neat scenario where this is cooler. Yeah, master. I feel like more people are impressed with being a master of origami than being a master of calligraphy, because calligraphy is just like writing fancy to put it as lightly as possible. Calligraphy is just like fancy writing, and most people can already write things, so it's not too much of a step for them to be wowed by having someone write fancy. Whereas not a lot of people can fold things well, right? And so it's more astonishing, it's more cool, it's more... What's the word I'm looking for? It's more easy to amaze people with origami versus with calligraphy. And I guess if you want to just go for the wow factor for an audience, you just choose origami. 50-50, really. I thought this would be more skewed toward the origami. But I guess I just assume people are going to be skewed towards the answer that I think that I would choose. Post every text message you ever sent on the internet. Have tattoos on your forehead depicting everything you did the day before. What kind of text messages have I sent? A lot of thank yous. I've texted, are you here yet? I've texted a lot of, how much longer will you take? I've texted a lot of, thank you for the delivery. I don't know what else I've texted. I haven't really texted anything weird, so I think this is just easy one. Or is the tattoo on the forehead depicting everything you did the day before? How would that work though? Is it in the form of a comic strip? You just have an entire volume of manga of what you did the day before on your forehead? Because I don't think society as a whole takes too kindly to the forehead tattoos, so it makes looking like a employed person or getting a job harder from that aspect. Whereas if you post every text message you ever sent on the internet, no one's gonna scroll through all that. People don't have the time and attention span to read every single text message you ever sent. Nobody cares. There's so much information and other things they could be doing out there with this that I don't think they're going to want to scroll through some rando person's text messages. This one is much more closely associated with you too, though, right? Even if there's oh yes, these are text messages from exactly who you are with this social security number, who lives at this address, who looks like this, and there's a picture of you. It's still some degree of distance away from associating it with you. It's still because it's on the internet and not on your physical body, it's that layer of separation. Whereas with the tattoos on the forehead, Like, if you did something really bizarre the day before, maybe it is, I don't know, maybe you had a particularly nasty bout of influenza, and that's on your forehead, no one's going to want to see that. And now that's connected to you. You're the guy with, like, the toilet tattoo on the forehead. That's gross. That's weird. You're a social outcast. You're a reject. Society views you as lesser now because of it. So for this reason, I believe it's easier to pick this one. Okay, good. Most people are like me. Most people, I'm still in the sane options. Be a famous musician with a one-hit wonder. Be an acclaimed author with a best-selling book. Oh, this is a good one. For once, it's not like would you rather and then two I guess there's others that have been would you rathers, but not two negatives. Be a famous musician with a one-hit wonder. Be an acclaimed author with a best-selling book. What would I write about? I guess I could write a fantasy novel. I guess what if I can be both? What would I sing though? What kind of genre? Best-selling book? That's true. I feel like having a best-selling book is more miraculous than one-hit wonder, because when you're a one-hit wonder, people remember your song, but they don't remember you. Whereas at least with the book, they probably also remember the author as well, right? You're more closely associated with the book than you are with the song. I'm just curious, what would I write about though? I've had like random book ideas in my head, but never got around to writing them because I'm terrible at writing, and they've always just been like daydreaming as opposed to actual books. I guess this one, just because I'm curious, what would I write? And I'm more closely associated with it as well. But I do like music. This is a bit closer. I think a lot of people have dreams of becoming musicians, and even with the one-hit wonder. We did this question already. Why are they giving me questions repeats? You haven't even answered that many. I've only been here for like an hour. Never have to sleep again. We did this one. This is counting my response twice. There's really not that many people living doing this website stuff. Live happily in a kingdom in the sky versus live happily in a kingdom in the ocean. This just seems like poor logistic things, no? If you live in a kingdom in the ocean, you gotta breathe. How are you breathing underwater? You're not a fish person. You're not a mermaid. You're not Ariel from The Little Mermaid. If you're living happily in a kingdom in the sky, isn't that cold? Isn't there less oxygen up there because it's like the atmosphere's thinner? This doesn't seem like a... I think no matter which one you choose, you're sad because they have to make some type of condition. They have to make some type of a... They got to do something to fix the oxygen situation. And then if you're also in the sky, like how the fuck are you getting around? How are you buying your groceries? Are you parachuting down to Earth to go to the supermarket? To like take a helicopter back up? Huh? Are there groceries in the sky? Are there cloud groceries? You're gonna go walk on clouds and sunshines and rainbows and walk over to the cloud grocery where all they sell is like birds because that's all they got up there? At least in the ocean, I guess you can get like fresh sushi. I guess that's a plus. Fresh sushi versus fresh poultry. Which one do you want more? I guess fresh sushi is fancier. But still, like, how the fuck you living in a kingdom in the ocean? Is there a big old bubble that just blocks all the water and lets you breathe? That just permanently pumps oxygen into a bubble underwater? There's also the question of like water pressure too. How deep in the ocean are you going? Wouldn't the water pressure like rupture your eardrums? And if there's no place, there's no place to supply yourself with stuff. No, you're gonna take a dive up 1,000 leagues above the sea to go to the supermarket in a town somewhere in some coastal city. I guess if you live in the kingdom in the ocean, the water temperature might be nicer than the air temperature. If you live in the sky, I think it's pretty cold up there. I guess the ocean also gets kind of cold, but maybe you live near like a geothermal vent, then it gets warm there. I'm gonna pick ocean solely because I just like the idea of having super fresh sushi. Really, more people would rather live in the sky, but like, how are you getting down? Oh, how are you getting down? I guess this question's kind of connected. Be able to fly at walking speed, or be able to run at 100 miles per hour. This is like that question from earlier, the super speed versus the teleport anywhere question. Because realistically, if you're running at like 100 miles per hour, can your body even handle those limits? There's like physical limitations involved. Your bones are gonna break apart. Your muscles weren't designed to move that fast. You're gonna tear. You're gonna have some type of enormous medical injury, right? You travel at 100 miles per hour for the first time, and then you accidentally like trip and fall. Suddenly all your skin is like torn off from the friction of the ground if you're clumsy. And there's also the question of air resistance still. You're running at 100 miles per hour. That's great and all, but the air is clinging to your skin. It's pulling your skin back. It's like peeling you away. It's generating friction. It's getting you airborne, but like times 1 billion. I'd rather be able to fly when my feet are. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like this requires a lot of physical endurance, and not only physical endurance, but there's also like physical limitations because your body's not designed to move that fast. It's a pain. Yeah, it's like you can run 100 miles per hour, or you can just get in a car like a normal person. Like there's no upside to this besides like you get to win the Olympics, but you get to hurt a lot all the time if you do choose to do this, right? That's what I'm saying as well. Being able to fly at walking speeds is nice because like, yeah, maybe you can take some paths that you normally wouldn't be able to, and then also like you can enjoy some scenery that isn't normal, and you can also like, I don't know, impress a few people. It's like, hey, is that person that can fly? They're flying and they're doing sightseeing. Wow. It's impressive, and it's also makes more sense because flying at walking speeds, the only downside to this is, I don't know, maybe like a bird poops on you more often. If there's more birds in the sky, maybe like you're more likely to get pooped on by a bird, and maybe there's some more bugs or something that you gotta watch out for, not open your mouth. But also that problem can occur when you run 100 miles per hour as well. There's also the fact that like a lot of the places where you're supposed to run aren't designed for people to run at 100 miles per hour, right? If you run on a sidewalk at 100 miles per hour and you like don't look at where you're going and you hit somebody, you're both probably going to die because it's just of the force generated by moving an object moving at that speed. It's just logical to it's just like, hey, I don't want to die. I don't want to kill anyone else either. I'd rather enjoy scenery and like, I don't know, not have to take the elevator sometimes, I guess. Fly at walking speed. You got an office at the top floor. It's like an 18-hour wait at the elevator. Just like fly up there. It's chill. Easy question. These people, the people who chose this one, weird. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I can't answer this question. No, I can't. This is an easy question. Would you rather be an elder sibling or a younger sibling? Plot twist. You can be both. It's called being the middle child. It sucks. But as we all know, the elder sibling, nothing good. Nothing good. Oh, they get all the first things. That's it. And then they get neglected by your parents. The younger sibling gets everything. The youngest sibling is always the most spoiled. Why? Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why this is, but it's just the natural law of the land. That's youngest siblings are always the most spoiled, and for no good reason. There's only upside to being a younger sibling. There's no downside, except like maybe you get bullied by your older sibling for a bit, but really not that much. But this is the reality I live. It's the meme where it's like the two buttons and there's the two things, and then there's the guy sweating and he has to push both. That's me because I'm both of these things and I don't get the benefits of either. Oh my god. Really? These people, the people who want to be an elder sibling, they're for sure the younger sibling who think it's better to be the older one. They're delusional. Never forget anything you hear. Never forget anything you read. Holy shit. Wait a minute. If I never forget anything I hear, could I hypothetically like listen to an audiobook while I sleep and then just remember everything when I wake up? Because that would be like amazing. That would be completely advantageous. Because it's fundamentally the same thing as never forget anything when you read, except you don't have to actually engage with the reading part. You can just passively listen instead, and then you'll always remember. But I guess the more annoying part of this question would be like the organization of your memory, because your brain can only hold so much data. If you abuse this too often, your brain gets clogged up with random shit. And I guess accessing valuable information is harder to do as your brain fills up with more and more information or data. And sorting it in a meaningful way, it would be not that good or hard. You'd have to do like those memory tricks that people do. The mind palace. You'd have to make your mind palace or something, you know? But never forgetting anything you read. I suppose that's useful as well, because you can like... But if you never forget anything you read, why wouldn't you also just never forget anything that you saw in general? Because having a eidetic memory or photographic memory could be useful. You can like remember nice landscapes for a long time. Let's have that. You wouldn't really need a camera if it was just having a photographic memory. But at the same time, never forget anything you hear. I think I have to choose this one because it can fundamentally be the same. And you can go for a walk and like listen to an audiobook, but you can't go for a walk and like read a book unless you want to walk into a lamppost and look like a big old dummy. Yeah, I think this one's better. The people who chose this one didn't consider the listening to audiobooks, I believe. Live in a house with no windows, live in an all glass. Oh God. You see, living in a house with no windows is not terrible because you can still go outside, right? Living in a house with no windows might suck because you don't get natural light, but you can still like go outside and experience sunlight. But if you live in an all glass house, then there's not really an adequate comparison here. There's no place you can go to just be secluded from like everyone else, because sunlight's nice and all, but you still need like some amount of privacy. But like all glass houses would quite literally be terrible. You want to take a shower, everyone's got to see you naked when they walk by your house. You got to like use the bathroom. People are seeing you people are watching you have your hardest fights with the devil himself sitting on the toilet. No, hell no. House with no windows, I get my nice private enclosure where I can do the things that I want. And then if I want to go socialize, I can still do that. I can still be seen by others. I can still be outside. I can still have sunlight eventually. Get that vitamin D so my bones can absorb the calcium of the milk I drink. And there's that modality that I have, right? Whereas living in a glass house is like, you're just always seen all the time. If you go outside, people still see you. If you're trying to change, people see you. If you're trying to take a shower, people see you. There's nowhere you can go that isn't private. Unless you get off on that. Maybe you're some type of exhibitionist. In which case, I guess you have an easy choice as well. Yes, most people, not exhibitionists. These 37% exhibitionists. Have more time or have more money? I think, how much more money are we talking versus how much more time? What's like a quantity? What's the exchange rate of time to money? Huh? This depends. This all depends. Because I'd rather have like $1 million more versus like 1 more second, right? That's a pretty clear trade-off. But if it's like an hour versus what would be a proper payment for an hour? What's like average hourly salary in the US? As of November 2024, the average hourly wage for private employees in the United States is $35. That sounds too high. That doesn't seem quite right. I don't think it should be 35. Bureau of Labor Statistics. This seems good. Where is it? Average hourly and weekly earnings of all employees on private non-farm payrolls by industry sector, seasonally adjusted. This is way too much specific data. I just want to look for a nice average. 35 seems too high. We'll lower it. We'll say like average is like $30 an hour. If the average hourly salary is like $30, would I rather have $30 more or an hour more? I'm kind of inclined just to say like I'd rather have the hour, simply because you can always make more money. Does that make sense? You can always just like work more, but if you have that extra hour, you can devote it into some type of, I don't know, hobby you have, or bettering yourself in some way to either make more money if that's what you want, or like just enjoy yourself. Having more leisure time is something that I would enjoy more personally. Because like, if you really want the money, you could sell your kidneys. You shouldn't. You probably shouldn't. But if you really wanted the money, you can sell your kidneys. But if you really wanted the time, there's not really a good way to get time in today's economy, or just in today's world currently. There's no like there's no money time conversion rate that you can go to the Time Bureau and be like, hey, Mr. Time Bureau Director Salesman, I want to buy 17 hours worth of free time. You can't do that. But you can sell your body parts on the black market if you really need the money. Really? These people that use this wouldyorather.io website, greedy people. Drink a shot of hot sauce versus drink a shot of soy sauce. Soy is salty as fuck. Depends on the hot sauce as well, though. If it's like super spicy. If the hot sauce is super spicy, would I want to drink it? I mean, if it's Tabasco, it's pretty easy. I also like the taste of most hot sauces as well. But if it's like one of those like 1 million Scoville hot sauces that are designed to bring maximum pain, then no, it's an easy soy sauce route, right? I like the taste of most hot sauces, though, is the thing. So here I'll say hot sauce simply because I prefer the taste of hot sauce over the taste of like immense saltiness of soy. Always have a random taste in your mouth. Be unable to have taste in your mouth. Always have random taste. I think I've talked about this before, but your olfactory sense, your sense of smell is closely connected to your sense of taste. And I think there's been studies that showed that people who lose their olfactory senses are at higher risk to commit suicide. And I think part of that is part of the what the study put forth is like, when you lose your sense of taste, you lose a lot of like, I don't want to say joy, but you lose a lot of those little things in life that you take for granted, like being able to eat good food. If your food just always tastes the same and you can't taste your food, I would probably die. Like, it'd be extremely depressing. And then always have a random taste in your mouth. I mean, it could be good. They never said it's like a bad random taste. If you're always tasting like shit in your mouth, then maybe one day you'll have like A5 Wagyu steak taste in your mouth or something. So just like roll the gacha, roll the lottery. And if you get lucky, you get lucky. Would you rather get a flat tire or run out of gas? I think get a flat tire, because if you're in your car and you're going somewhere, you can still like drive a car with a flat tire. It's not good for the car, but you can still drive it. It still has fuel. It still has wheels, or it still has 3 functioning wheels, so it can still move. Whereas if you run out of gas, you only have like 1 engine. This is the entire power source. You can't go anywhere. You're really in an emergency. I'd much rather get a flat tire and just keep running on that than run out of gas and just have to like get out of the car and start running to where I'm trying to go. Pretty easy questions, honestly. 55-45, really? I guess people just carry gas with them? Be forever happy, but somebody else is depressed. Be forever depressed, but someone else is happy. Well, isn't this just real life? No? Isn't this just how the world operates sometimes? Sometimes you're the person that's depressed, and sometimes you're the person that's happy. This is true then, no? There's got to be like someone out there that has crippling depression, and someone out there that has like the opposite of crippling depression, debilitating joy. And it looks like maybe they answered this question. But who is this? If it's just a random person, then I'm going to choose I'd rather be happy and to have some random who's not gonna. That might seem sociopathic and somewhat cold, but hey, I'm a greedy. I don't want to say selfish, but I feel like this is the more natural human response to choose for someone to be closer to you to be happy and somebody else to be some random to be depressed. Whereas the opposite way, I don't know who that person is that's happy, right? Some stranger. I might be an altruistic person. Or I like to think that. I'm not that altruistic, right? Okay, most people are greedy as well. I can feel less bad about choosing the greedy option now. Have infinite knowledge or be omnipotent? Would I rather have infinite knowledge or be omnipotent? Which one? I mean, if I have infinite knowledge, would that contain the knowledge of how to become omnipotent? Or vice versa, if I were to become omnipotent, wouldn't one of my powers be to also know everything? Right? All powerful means I can do anything. Isn't something that I should be able to do have infinite knowledge to begin with? You know? But I guess being omnipotent kind of invalidates having infinite knowledge, because if you're omnipotent and you can do anything, then you can know everything as well, right? And just because you know everything doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to do everything, I suppose, is what this question might be getting at, maybe, or maybe it's just a poorly phrased question. In either case, I think becoming omnipotent is the answer. Because if you are truly omnipotent, then you can also have infinite knowledge, because that's something you can do. That's a power you can have. That is in the word omnipotent, omnipotent. Omni is all, potent is powerful, all powerful. So I think it has to be this option then, no? Unless, could Jesus microwave a burrito so hot that even he himself could not eat it? What is true omnipotence in this case then? I'll just choose this one. Really? Maybe people, 54%. Why would they choose infinite knowledge over omnipotence? Infinite knowledge over omnipotence would be like, what possible upside is there? I can't currently think of one. But I can't currently think of one because I'm thinking, like, if you have omnipotence, then you don't need the infinite knowledge because you can do everything anyways. Like, becoming infinitely smart isn't useful. Right? There's only so many things a person can know. And, like, why would they want to know so many things? Huh? Am I making sense? Am I rambling? Is this what it means to yap? Erase all your past bad memories. Erase your past bad impressions in the memories of others. Do I have bad memories? Probably. I think I've forgotten most of them, though, so this would be functionally obsolete. Whereas if I erase the bad impressions of me and others, then I can appear like a better person in their eyes, which is cooler. I can reduce all my social faux pas and make myself seem somewhat like a normal human being. I don't have to be that strange guy that just stands there menacingly, unaware of how to interact with others at any social function, or who said something out of character and bizarre and got weird looks. I don't have to be that guy anymore. I can erase that. That's tempting. That's a tempting offer. Because all the bad memories, I can bear those. I've borne the weight of bad memories for however long I've been alive. But this. Okay, most people agree with me, or the people who took this test. Oh. Would I rather use eye drops made of vinegar or use toilet paper made of sandpaper? Ew. Like, why though? Why would I mean, I have to do that thing. Like, do you ever see that video clip where it's one of those like TikTok content creators and they're going around some campus of some college asking some random hypotheticals, and he stops this guy and he's got like a rat tail ponytail type of thing, a leather jacket, transition glasses, the glasses that turn to the sunglasses outside, and he's got like, I think he has fingerless gloves on too. He asked the hypotheticals like, would you rather do this or that? And he's like, neither. I reject the premise. And the interviewer's like, you got to choose one of them. This is the whole point of a hypothetical. And then the guy, the hero of the story says, neither. I reject the premise. I don't care. I don't want to answer either of them. That's how I feel right now. I don't want to do either of these things. I reject the premise of this question. Why would I be putting vinegar in my eyes, and why would someone sabotage me? Why would they make my toilet paper sandpaper? I suppose a loophole here is the sandpaper is like the super fine grit stuff. You know what I'm talking about? It's not the coarse sandpaper that's gonna like leave my butthole bleeding, but it's the super fine grained sandpaper. So it's not as bad, but it's like sandpaper, so it like gets all the poop off your hole. So I guess it's a loophole, maybe a poop hole loophole, if you will. Whereas the eye drops of vinegar, no matter like how diluted the vinegar is, it's gonna hurt like a bitch. I don't like using regular eye drops, and those are good for you because I don't like the idea of putting things in my eye. The idea of having my asshole torn to shreds is slightly more palatable than putting something slightly acidic in my eye. That sounds kind of weird, but for this reason, toilet paper made of sandpaper. Hell yeah, I'm not the only one getting their buttholes torn. Ooh, an interesting question. Have fingers for toes or have toes for fingers? This is an easy one. I'd rather have fingers for toes, right? Because fingers are, they're opposable, kind of. They bend, right? You can grab things with them. You can grab things with your toes too, but they're not as slender. They don't have the dexterity that the fingers do. No, excuse me. If you had fingers for toes, you can like hang upside down. You can train your foot grip strength. You could do some wacky things. You can do the monkey bars like a real monkey. Monkeys kind of have fingers for toes. They have pretty strong grippers, you know? If you have fingers for toes, you can like do monkey bars at the playground upside down. The true monkey experience. You can get a better grip of the floor. You can pick something up more easily. You don't have to bend all the way down and risk hurting your back. You just, oh, I dropped my pencil. Let me just take my shoe off real quick. And let me do my, let me take my shoe off. And let me pick it up with my toe fingers. Whereas if you have toes for fingers, they're too short and stubby. You can't like hold a pencil anymore. You can't do the things that the everyday life requires you to do. You can't like chop an onion, right? If you have fingers for toes, now you can chop an onion with your hands, and then you can like stir something in the kitchen with your feet. That doesn't sound very hygienic, but I have clean feet. Also, if you have fingers for toes, you would probably appeal to some foot fetishists. You could give them, there's a market for that somewhere, and you would be the only person able to supply them with the supply that demand, you know? Laws of economics. Have fingers for toes, 100%. 80-20 sounds about right. Lose Wi-Fi for a year. Prices go up by 20% for you for a year. Prices go up by... Lose Wi-Fi. I do have unlimited data on my phone. Would I be able to like make a... No, but even that Wi-Fi hotspot's not enough to like do things that I want to do with Wi-Fi. If everything goes up by 20% for me for a year, then I would have to do... What would I have to do then? I would have to make more money, or I'd have to be more frugal. Both of which are fine. If you lose Wi-Fi for a year, you like lose the capability you lose the capability of doing your job properly and doing things as people expect in the modern world, just because everyone's so dependent on the internet. Prices going up for 20% will be very terrible, but it's only for a year, and just be more frugal, I guess. Really, more people would rather lose Wi-Fi. I feel like Wi-Fi is kind of a human right now. I feel like you have to have Wi-Fi in order to function in society now. Have a permanent clown nose, have permanent elf ears. Wait a minute. If you have a permanent clown nose, you just look like a doofus. If you have a permanent elf ears, then some people will find you more attractive because there are, I don't know, people like Legolas from Lord of the Rings. He has elf ears permanently. There's no character from Lord of the Rings that people think is attractive that has a permanent clown nose. As a matter of fact, I cannot think of a single character with a permanent clown nose and is considered somewhat conventionally attractive. I'm not saying it's impossible to be attractive with a clown nose, but it is not beneficial for the most part as well. Whereas elf ears generally isn't detrimental. People like having elf ears isn't going to be a turnoff for most people. But for some people, it is a major benefit. It is a much more of a pro rather than a con. Yeah. What is this? 87-13%? Thought so. Would you rather always have to travel by train versus always have to travel by bus? Simply because of the train infrastructure of the United States, it's going to be a travel by bus kind of day. Also, I think buses are generally cheaper and more affordable. So considering that like you have to pay for train tickets versus having to pay for bus tickets, sure, the bus might take longer. But there's also, the United States, I feel, is designed more with a car infrastructure in mind, which a bus traverses more easily than a train. Because train's infrastructure isn't that great, honestly. You got like what? You got the subway system in New York City, which is fine. But for them, and you got like trains up and down the East Coast. I'm not sure how the train infrastructure in the Midwest is, or in the West Coast is. But even then, I can't see it being better than just general bus infrastructure and cars and roads. Even if the roads have potholes, it's easier to do it by bus. Maybe a bunch of Europeans are on this site. I know train infrastructure is better in Europe and Asia. Live without music or live without television? Easy, live without television. I listen to music all the time. I really don't watch TV that much. Like the only shows I watch are Well, I still have to watch Arcane, season 2 of Arcane. I don't really watch as much anime anymore. I mainly read manga, so I can do without television. Music, however, I listen to all the time. Just when I'm like sitting around, standing around, doing whatever, I'm always listening to music. So for this reason, live without television. Music is essential. I'm always listening. I'm watching a video essay, listening to something in the background, and playing video games all at the same time. Even now, on my stream, I got a little bossa nova. Have free public transportation, have free public utilities. Free public transportation is nice. But I think it's much more beneficial for everyone to have free public utilities, like access to water, electric, internet. These things just seem better for society as a whole. If you have free water, electric, internet, things like this, the free public transportation isn't as good. A lot of people don't leave their houses, or some people don't. This also enables more working from home, which is cool. Better for society, I think. Never lose your phone again. Never lose your keys again. You see, I don't have this problem because I just put them in my pocket, or if they're not in my pocket, they're on my desk, right? I don't have this problem whatsoever. I don't really, I don't really get how people lose their phone unless it's stolen. I can understand if it's stolen from you. They're like pickpockets, other things, thieves, whatever. I can understand if it's stolen. But for the most part, it's like, if you don't have it, or if it's not on your person, not in your pocket, where are you putting it? I guess for like women and girls, it's you put it in your purse, and sometimes you might forget to put it on your purse if it's like on a table for a long time. But I feel that's more of a problem of the fact that like women's clothing doesn't have deep enough pockets for however big phones are now. I remember there's jokes about phones getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but the trend has continued where phones do in fact get bigger for one reason or another. But in terms of utilities, if I'm thinking about would I rather lose my keys or lose my phone, I'd rather lose my keys, in which case I would rather never lose my phone again, because my phone is more valuable, right? If you lose your keys, it sucks, but you can always like get a locksmith, and it might be pricey, but it's not going to cost nearly as much as replacing your phone. And there's generally more of a dearth of information on your phone. Right? If you lose your keys, yeah, you do run the risk of like someone breaking into your house. But if you lose your phone, you run the risk of someone like stealing your entire identity and your credit card and your debit card and your money and your name and your face and everything else. And less like valuable memories. You might have some valuable photos on your phone. I'd rather not lose that. Would you rather cheat on someone or be cheated on? What if you have a cuck fetish? I don't know. I don't like the idea of bad things happening to me, but I also don't like the idea of doing bad things, you know? This is a tough one. I think I'd rather be cheated on. Call me a cuck. I don't care. I don't like the idea of doing bad things most of the time. Oh, shit. Oh. Would you rather lick the inside of a stranger's ear or lick a stranger's armpit? The thing with this question is I think strangers' armpits are generally more hygienic than a stranger's ear, right? Because most people shower daily, and or bathe daily, they wash daily, right? And most people pay specific attention to wash their pits because they stink like shit. For the most part. Not me, though. East Asian genetics, ha ha ha. I got that dry earwax. I got the dry earwax. That means I don't have the BO smell. So, but even with that in mind, it's probably easier or less gross to lick someone's armpit because it's just a normal part of your body that you wash, and yeah, it might generate a lot of sweat, but maybe I'm lucky and the stranger I get is attractive or something, I don't know. But it just seems like licking the inside of a stranger's ear is a lot grosser. There's a lot more like weird stuff in there that you don't want to eat, right? Because for the most part, this is just skin. It might be a little smelly, but it's just skin. And licking somebody's skin is gross and not hygienic, but it also won't kill you. Licking the inside of a stranger's ear, I don't know what kind of weird germs there are in there. And then also, if the stranger is someone who like doesn't wash their pits well, the chances are their ears are going to be a hell of a lot worse. So hopefully, licking a stranger's armpit seems better from a hygienic standpoint and from a cleanliness standpoint versus the inside of an ear. Also, what if you get someone with like the gross earwax, the not dry earwax? Ew. I have to do this 100 times. No way. People haven't considered. Ah, man. 63% can't choose that the inside of someone's ear. Inside of someone's ear is disgusting. It's gross. If they don't take care of their armpits, they're for sure not taking care of their ears. And maybe they do. Generally, people also take better care of their armpits, I believe. I haven't surveyed this, but this is just like most people shower and apply hygienics. They apply hygienic standards to their body. You live in a fantasy world as an average person. You get to choose the world. You live in the real world while an above average person, comfortably wealthy and smart. What if the fantasy world is just like literal utopia? What if the fantasy world I choose to live in is just like a literal utopia, right? Because like being an above average person is cool, comfortably wealthy and smart is cool and all, but the real world kind of sucks for most people, not gonna lie. There's like wealth inequality, extremist politics. There's, I don't know, there's a bunch of shitty capitalism. There's a bunch of shitty stuff in the real world. So even if you are comfortably wealthy and smart, there's not a guarantee for like a comfortable life. But if you choose to live in a fantasy world, like, I don't know, maybe Middle Earth during the Fourth Age, during the reign of Aragorn, maybe that's be pretty cool. Not utopia, but it's comfortable enough where you can carve out a decent life. Yeah, just live in a fantasy world. Choose some utopia. That way the average person gets treated well. Be able to predict the actions of others. Be able to influence the actions of others. Predict versus influence. Control versus knowing. I feel like these are tied together. I feel like if you're able to predict the actions of others, then you can influence them to be in such a way, right? Similarly, if you can influence the actions of another person, then that means like you know what action they're going to take, therefore like kind of predicting them, right? But if you think about this, isn't this like what is this like actually? If you can predict, so I'm thinking about this in like a poker context because this is where I see the biggest applicability of this skill, of this superpower, if you will. Being able to predict the actions of others is useful for playing poker because if you're like betting or whatever, and you understand like, and you know what action they're going to take on the next street of action. So if they like check the flop and then they raise the turn, things like that. That mean that you know what they have in hand and how to beat them? No, but if you can influence the actions of others, I mean, you can already kind of do this to an extent just in real world stuff. You can just like suggest people or tell people to do things and maybe plant that idea in their head. You can incept the idea into their head to do something. Like you can say, I want to go, we should eat over there. I hear it's really good. You can have your friend group eat at another restaurant as opposed to a different one. I don't know. I feel like this is better. But from the poker context again, from the poker standpoint, if you can influence the actions of others and you can get them to fold in a big pot where there's a lot of money in the middle, then you can win that money as well, right? You wouldn't be able to do that if you were only able to predict the actions because you can know what they're going to do, but that doesn't mean you know how to respond to it, right? You have no control. You just know that something's going to happen. Whereas if you influence, then you can also predict as well. That's part of the game as well, then, no? Just generally as well. I think that makes sense. I think my logic is sound, but I'm sounding like kind of dumb saying it. Fly first class for every commercial flight. Private jet for every flight, but only be able to bring 50% of the luggage. Private jet? Why would I want the private jet? Why would I want the private jet? Why would I want the private jet? I'm going to be real. I don't travel a lot. I don't take airplanes a lot. But part of the fun of traveling is going into the airport. I kind of enjoy the airport experience. TSA is a hassle. Fuck the TSA. Fuck all that other nonsense. But once you like get past airport security and you're waiting for your flight, walking around the terminal, looking at all these other people, what time zones they're in mentally versus where they are now, it's a trip. Like time doesn't exist in airports. It could be 5 a.m. in the morning, and you can see someone waking up and like just sitting at the bar. It can be late at night, and I don't know, someone's just waking up. Like, time is a social construct. And I know this because I've been inside of airports for long periods of time before. I've seen the grogginess with which people just wander in, and it's hard to explain. If you've been in an airport, though, you kind of understand what I'm saying, I think. Where time in airports is like an illusion. It doesn't exist. Everything you know about time goes out the window in an airport. And it's cool to look around and watch that. And then there's like waiting for the airport is fun, too. I like sitting around with a book, just getting some coffee, reading while I wait for my plane to come in. And also, flying first class for every commercial flight, that just seems nice. You know, private jet honestly seems like kind of a hassle. Because I'm assuming private jet means you have to pay for things of it. I don't have enough money to sustain a private jet. You know? 50% of the luggage also seems like a hassle as well. So I don't think there's any downside. Never be able to say no versus never be able to say yes. Which one? If you're never able to say no, when would that be a bad thing? I could think of a few. You just fall for every scam. But then, like, if you're never able to say yes, you can't make plans with anyone. You can't say, like, hey, does this work for you? And you can't say yes. But I guess loopholing this question again, you could say affirmative or this time does in fact work for me. But that's loopholing the question. So I'm going to assume that that's off the table. I think never being able to say no is better because just don't put yourself in a position to be scammed, or try not to put yourself in a position to be scammed, or just don't respond to the email or something like that. And then also, if you're never able to say yes, you're not allowed to like go do things. When someone asks you, hey, you want to go see that movie? You have to say no, right? But what if you do want to go see that movie? So never being able to say yes just denies you of living life to the fullest, whereas never being able to say no might like fuck you up in terms of finances with scams and everything. But at least you can experience life well, I guess. Interesting. It was like 50-50. Live without social media. Live without video streaming platforms. Easy. Easy. What point is social media? No good. I have social media. I don't really care for it. Live without video streaming platforms. Literal death sentence for me. What am I going to do in my free time? How am I going to survive? All I do is watch YouTube videos and play video games on the internet. And, like, stare at the ceiling. Easy question. Most people are sane still. Nice. Drink water from a flushed public toilet versus lick a public bathroom. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. All right. My answer for this one, I think I would rather drink water from a flushed public toilet. My reasoning is because you're not licking the toilet bowl. You're drinking the water. And the water is going to be disgusting and gross, but it's going to be cleaner than the bathroom floor where a lot of people step in it and they also piss on it too, right? At least when like you're flushing water in a public toilet, the water gets circulated. Some of the water like clears off some of the shit stains in the bowl, all that other good stuff. So just from a pure like hygienic standpoint, I think it's a little, just a smidgen, just a tad better to drink water from a flush public toilet. Because like people can poop on the floor too. There's for sure people who poop on public bathroom floors, or the toilet overflows for one reason or another and the poop gets there anyways. So like licking the public bathroom floor was more akin to licking the toilet bowl, versus when you drink the water from the flush public toilet, there might be all that grime and grossness in there, but at least there's less of a chance that there's less of a chance of the grossness. It seems in my mind a tad bit cleaner. Maybe I'm crazy though. Wouldn't be the first time. 41-50, really? 59% would rather have 59% would rather lick the public bathroom floor. These people don't know what goes on the public bathroom floors. They don't know the things that I know. They haven't seen the things that I've seen. I've seen people pissing on there, shitting on there, fucking on there, spitting on there. The public bathroom floor might be the only place dirtier than the public bathroom like toilet bowl, to be honest. Oh, this one's an easy one. Laptop is nice and all, but like, you have a gaming laptop, those things are heavy as fuck. They get hot as fuck. They always have to be charged, so that removes the mobility aspect of it. And also, like, they're not built very well in the first place. They're less customizable with the decor. With the gaming PC, you have the mobility, so you can design the setup around that. You have mechanical keyboards you can buy and use, like I do. You got a double monitor setup, maybe even a triple monitor setup. 2 monitors, by the way. You can't do that with a gaming laptop, or if you do, you need a second monitor to hook it up. There's not as many ports. This is an easy question. And the mobility of a gaming laptop really isn't that real. It's just big, bulky. It's heavy. One of my friends used to have one, and he'd pull it out, and then he'd have to charge it every 2 seconds. Easy question. 77%, hell yeah. Would you rather have a brain freeze every time you drink, have a toothache every time you eat? All right, these are both terrible because I drink a lot of water. I need to. You need to drink water to exist. But the toothache feels like more of an annoying pain to deal with. You for sure drink more than you eat, but the toothache seems more severe than the brain freeze. The brain freeze I think is tolerable. I think if the brain freeze every time you drink, you just take like big gulps of water. What I mean by that is anytime you go to drink, you never just get like a small cup of water. You always fill up like a gallon of water that you just chug, and you just minimize the amount of drinking you do. And the brain freeze will hurt, but it'll go away. Whereas the toothache feels like it is more primal. I don't know if that makes sense. It feels like it's more of a annoying pain, a sharper pain, a more terrifying pain, if you will. Brain freeze every time you drink. Hell yeah, I'm on the side of the majority here. Own your dream house or own your dream car. Easy. Own your dream house. Maybe if this was like 60 years ago and I was like a greaser in the 60s who is obsessed with cars and shit, maybe I choose own your dream car. But this is 2024 America where like a 1 square foot house costs $2 trillion. Own your dream house. Easy. I'm no stranger to the housing market. I know how much those sons of bitches cost. Never be able to go outside but you have internet. Be able to go outside but have no internet. Isn't this just being a shut-in? You can work from home. You can still do all like the functions. I guess you can even order groceries online now. Yeah, this is easy. I like going outside too, but like internet's a vital part of the experience. Internet's a vital part of being a human being and performing any type of societal functions. I don't have to go outside to have a fulfilled life. I have Discord. I can like, I don't know, Discord people, I guess, to call people. I have a phone. I can call people. The original intended usage of a phone. Not that bad. Really? Look at all these socialites going outside 59% of the time. Have to walk on all fours whenever you go outside versus have to hop on wherever you go. Isn't this just a fetish? Isn't having to walk on all fours wherever you go, isn't this some type of like humiliation, domination fetish? That's what it reads like to me. Versus this is just cruel and unusual punishment that I guess strengthens one of your legs. Walking on all fours also, I'd rather do the hop on 1 foot. Mainly because, firstly, the walking on all fours seems like a humiliation fetish thing. It seems like if you're walking out on all fours, or perhaps it's a furry thing as well. I don't know. I don't judge, but it seems inherently a little sexually charged. And also just like walking on all fours gets your hands dirty. I don't like it when my hands are dirty, you know? I don't like having dirt and grass and grossness on my hands, so hopping on 1 foot might, although harder, keeps my hands clean. And I guess it also like makes you stronger, but I guess if you break one of your legs, you're just fucked and you can't move anymore. Actually, no, you can hop on the other leg. But if you break both your legs, you're fucked. But if you break both your legs anyways, you're already fucked too. Huh. Taste anything you touch. Be unable to taste anything. Wait a minute. This is the tongue, finger, and the finger tongue question. Taste anything you touched. I think I think I'd rather taste anything I touch because I can wear gloves. If you wear gloves and you put like, I don't know, something that tastes good on the inside, then it's not too bad. And you can like touch the, you gotta wipe. If you have to wipe your ass, you can put the gloves on first and then you don't have to touch the shitty toilet paper, you know? Whereas being unable to taste anything is like actually, again, links back to olfactory, terrible life, depression, yada, yada, yada. So while this appears grosser at first glance, if you think about it, just wear the gloves. Fight in an ancient war or fight in a modern war. I'm assuming they mean modern war as like frontline soldier. I think fight in a modern war, mainly because technology is better. So they just mean like participate in a modern war. Maybe you're flying in a drone instead of on the front lines. So I'll assume I'll just assume any type of participant. And if you're fighting in an ancient war, it's more likely you have to face the enemy head on. And also, technology is better. If you get shot by something in a modern war, you're probably dying pretty quick. If you get like stabbed or something in an ancient war, they're gonna like amputate your leg and not cure you at all, and you're gonna die and suffer and bleed out. So one, probability of engagement with an enemy, if this question is taken just as participation in a war, the chance of engagement of the enemy is lower in the modern war, I believe. And then secondly, if you get grievously injured, the medicine is better in the modern day. So, or you just die faster, more painless, or maybe not necessarily more painlessly, but you just die faster, so your suffering is shortened because technology again is better. You know? Ancient war. I guess we got some people who like romanticize ancient warfare. Go skydiving versus deep sea diving. I think I'd rather go skydiving. Deep sea diving seems terrifying. You got all those creatures of the deep in the ocean, then you don't know all of them yet. The ocean's not very explored. And not only do you have to go down, you have to come back up, and there's chances to fuck up on both the descent and on the ascent, right? You have to like make sure your pressure is always good. I read Grand Blue, the famous diving manga. I know about diving. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with like the pressure imbalance, that maybe your oxygen tank can explode, all this other stuff. Skydiving, you just have to worry about your parachute, and you don't have to go back up. You just have to go down. I mean, you have to go up and then down, but like the going up part's the helicopter's job, and people know how helicopters and airplanes work. That's not too bad. For this reason, and so because you're mainly concerned about only one aspect of the trip, skydiving seems better. I think it's also shorter as well. It seems like skydiving wouldn't take as long as deep sea diving. Deep sea diving seems like an hours long expedition of some type, or maybe like 30 minutes. I don't know. I've never been. Skydiving seems like it would be shorter as well. So you're terrified for shorter versus terrified for longer with more chances for things to go down. But I guess this would be cool too. It just seems like there's more of a barrier of knowledge here. Have a head the size of a tennis ball. Have a head the size of a watermelon. All right. I'm going to answer this. I'm going to choose have a head the size of a watermelon. Why? One, I'm a larger person. Generally, I'm over 6 feet tall. So because I'm a bigger person, it'd probably look less bad on me to have a head the size of a watermelon versus the head the size of a tennis ball, right? If I have a head the size of a tennis ball, it, one, looks weirder because small head, large person. And then also, like, I don't know. I'm assuming this means you have a smaller brain as well, and like a smaller eyes, smaller ears, smaller mouth, smaller nose. You can't do very many things. Smaller facial features. It's harder to see you. It's harder for people to recognize you as human if they can't see your face. Right? The human brain is designed to look for faces of other humans, and that's why it sees patterns in things, the man in the moon and all other crap. So if you have a head the size of a tennis ball, because it's harder to see your face because your facial features are smaller, it's harder for other people to recognize you as a human, which might lead to some type of like subconscious discrimination. I don't know. I don't like being discriminated against, I guess. Or maybe they won't see you as human. They might have some weird subconscious effect. Whereas with a head the size of a watermelon, you're going to look goofy as fuck. But no matter which option you choose, you're going to look goofy as fuck. And yeah, you can't wear hats anymore. You're going to have to get them specially tailor-made. But I don't know. Maybe you hear really well now because you have big-ass ears. Maybe you become the smartest person in the world with your big-ass head also. I don't know. It just seems better. It just seems like, why go small when you can be big? You know? Would you rather shave your eyebrows once a month, lose one toe of your choice? If the toe just disappears, lose one toe of my choice. It would be one of my pinky toes. There's like no point of having it. It's just kind of there. Nobody looks at my feet anyways. I'm also not a foot model, nor do I plan on opening like an OnlyFans for my feet. So there'd be nothing lost here. Shaving my eyebrows once a month, I have to go out in public. I have to see other people. They're going to see me. They're going to be like, hey, it's the guy with the shaved eyebrows. Hey, look how stupid he looks. Hey, Mr. Shaved Eyebrows guy. Hey, look over here. Look over here, Mr. Shaved Eyebrows guy. And they're going to get mocked, ridiculed even. I'll be the dog of the town for the next century and a half. I don't like shaving my eyebrows. Well, I've never done it, but I assume that if I were to do it, I wouldn't like it. Losing one toe of my choice, if I have to cut it off myself, then I'll choose shave eyebrows once a month because I do not want to bodily harm myself. I do not want to cut my own toe off. That seems extremely painful. And then I'd have to cauterize the wound or do something to stop the bleeding. You know? Losing a toe of my choice and just having it disappear, perfectly fine with me. Take my left pinky toe. I don't care about it. I'm never using it. It hasn't done anything for me. It's just there. I just like banged it against walls and tables and drawers because I'm clumsy and it hurts me more than having a pinky toe hurts me more than it hurts not having it, to be honest. If I have to cut it off, then I don't want to do that. I'll just choose shave eyebrows. I'll endure the public ridicule. But for the most part, nothing is diminished in my life by losing a single toe. I see most people agree with me. That's good. That's good. I like that when people agree with me. Have your mind serve as an iPod so you can listen to music anytime. Be able to watch your dreams on television. Fuck. I guess have my music serve as an iPod anytime is cool because that's kind of what you do generally, or at least I do. I always have that like one piece of a song stuck in my head over and over, looping again and again and again and again and again and again and again. So that's what my mind does already. But I guess having it like hearing the music more clearly and not having to loop one part and be able to like put it on shuffle, that'd be cool. I think I choose this because watching your dreams on television, there's nothing interesting about dreams. The interesting part about dreams is that like you have them and they seem realistic and they seem so vivid and then so bizarre, and you wake up and you don't remember them, right? That's the interesting part about the dreams. It's the dreamlike aspect of it. If you were to watch like a regular person's dreams on television, it would be like somebody plugged you. It would be like the fucking, what's it called? The fucking alternate reality TV from like the Rick and Morty season 2 or whatever. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be nonsensical and it would be novel for a bit. But after like watching 3 hours of dream TV, I feel like your mind would just melt from the nonsense and would lose its appeal very quickly. Like having your mind serve as an iPod and just listening to music you like just seems useful and just seems beneficial, right? There's nothing really lost from it, but there's also stuff to be gained from it, and it's a thing that I do anyways. I like having music on in the background when I do my everyday chores anyways, so not having to carry around like my extra piece of equipment in terms of phone plus earbuds or earpods just seems useful, right? Plus, it's like, I can do it. I can bring it in the shower with me if I don't want to like blast it on a speaker or something. I can bring it to a pool if I want to go for a swim. I can bring it to the beach if I want to go to the ocean. It seems convenient. Dream television seems like a cool idea, but I feel like it would lose the novelty aspect and it would just be nonsensical after a while. Be able to speak any language but never be able to write it. Be able to write in any language but never be able to speak it. Oh, hold on, I gotta get some water. I ran out of water. Be back in a second. Where's my bathroom break? I'll fix it. I'll say water break. I feel my throat getting. I feel my throat getting real dry. Oh, I can't say anything anymore. I've been yapping too long. Bathroom water break. Hello, I'm back. Oh. So, for this question, I feel like there's a pretty clear answer though, no? Like, being able to write in any language but never speak it is nice if you want to be like an author in that language, right? I don't plan on being an author in foreign languages, whereas there's a lot of versatility in being able to speak any language and not having to write it, right? You can travel to any country and communicate flawlessly with the people who live there. You can get directions, restaurant recommendations, make a new friend. Sure, you can't like write an email to them, but you can just talk to them instead. Doesn't matter. You can be your Discord friend, get in Discord call or whatever, and you can speak to them. You can bridge that language gap more easily. Whereas being able to write in any language is harder to do online. Simply because you need specialized keyboards to write in some languages. Like I know there's like I would assume Asian languages have some type of special keyboard. I have friends who have like Korean laptops and they have the Hangul on the keys, but it seems like a pain to type in. So even then, it just seems easier to be able to speak it. It just seems more conducive to bridging the gap between being a foreigner, I suppose. And it's just, again, from a utilitarian standpoint, being able to speak better. Speak good, write bad. Oh. What is that? 87%. I was right. Live in a world without internet or live in a world without music? Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Because I kind of want both, you know? Oh, I suppose if there was a world without music, I would just listen to video essays and other things of that form in the background while I go about my day-to-day activities, while I live and breathe and do all those other things. But to live in a world without internet would be what? What would I do? I would do more reading, and just the spread of information, the development of modern technology would probably be greatly diminished simply because the internet is such a valuable resource, not only for learning, but for just like record keeping as well. You could have entire archives of data, of information, of the whole world at your fingertip. Also, just in terms of like telecommunications, like you can talk to people more easily with internet. So, from a use aspect, from a purely like thinking only about the usefulness of both of these things, it's more useful to have internet than music. And I probably enjoy things from the internet more than music in general. But I also can't imagine a world without music. I also can't imagine just like existing and not having like pleasant sounding stuff playing, you know? I can't imagine living in a world without Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, my favorite song ever. I suppose live in a world without music and with internet. Because there's more, the internet a more valuable resource, I think, than music. Music is nice and it for sure contributes to the enrichment of lived life. But there's just something about the internet is just too valuable. It's just too, it brings a lot of, but I guess at the same time it brings a lot of bad things as well. Like disinformation and all those other good stuff, or bad stuff, I should say. Only be able to watch movies made prior to 2000. Only be able to watch movies made after 2000. There are a lot of good movies made prior to 2000. I used to watch a lot of like old school Hong Kong 70s kung fu movies when I had back when I was young. And those are fantastic. But at the same time, there are a lot of movies made after 2000, and it's not like they're gonna stop making movies either, right? There's a finite number of movies that have been made prior to 2000, because they're not making movies in 1000 BC. And if they only continue to make movies, then there's technically an infinite supply of them. So depending on how long you exist for, there's always that chance that gets larger and larger as time goes on, that you find like your favorite movie ever in movies made after 2000. And plus there's also still like really high quality films being made. Sure, Hollywood's kind of fallen off, like The MCU, nobody watches the MCU anymore except for like Spider-Man movies, or at least me. I only really keep up with Spider-Man and Shang-Chi. But there's still high quality films. There was Everything Ever All at Once, like I said. There's Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. I think Bong Joon-ho is also making another movie now that I think about it. There is apparently Everyone Loves Wicked. They're holding space for the lyrics to define gravity to Wicked. Apparently that's something people do now. And there's also other great movies that are made after 2000. I think was The Matrix made before or after 2000? Matrix. God damn it, it's 1999. Hold on, how about Kung Fu Hustle? Okay, Kung Fu Hustle is 2004. Easy pick. Post 2000 movies, clear. Plus, you got access to Shrek and Shrek 2. We don't talk about Shrek the Third and the other movies. Shrek and Shrek 2 are a perfect duology. So easily, only movies made after 2000. Plus, like, again, there's technically an infinite supply of this. There is a finite number of these. And when I choose between technically infinite and very finite, I'm going to choose the technically infinite most of the time. Unless it's like, would you rather have one needle injected into your veins or infinite needles injected into your veins? One. So, the technically infinite selection always carries. And most people agree. Maybe this is a test taken by like Zoomers, so they don't know any movies. Would I rather have to kill my best friend or kill my sibling? Damn. You see, I have an argument for this one though. You only ever really have one best friend. But sometimes you have more than one sibling, so you can replace them. You can replace your siblings. But you can't replace your best friend. You can also replace your siblings because you can tell your parents to fuck them up. So technically, again, one of these, potentially multiple of these, more if you tell your parents to. So, oh god, which one would I kill though? I kill my older sister. I would let them decide. If I had to kill one of my siblings, I would let them choose. I don't want to kill my friends. I don't want to kill my siblings either, but like, let's be real. You got replacements. Be single for life or have a partner that acts like a child. What the fuck? Is this like some ancient curse put upon your family where you can't get a partner that doesn't act like a child? Isn't it just better to just have a... Because this is terrible, but if this happens, if you do get a partner that acts like a child, can't you just like break up? Or is this some type of curse upon your household where you're... Instead of being King Midas where everything you touch turns to gold, you're like Brat Midas. Every person you touch becomes a toddler with a temper tantrum. I don't know. I don't want to deal with that. If it's the curse, I'll choose being single for life. You can still get fulfillment being forever alone in the terms of like early 2010 internet characters. When did that arise actually? Let me check. Forever alone. I feel like that arose in like 2011 maybe. But yeah, like why would you want someone that actively takes away from your enjoyment of life? But I guess maybe it's like only acts like a child sometimes. It doesn't say always. There's not quantifier. I have a partner that always acts like a child. So but I'm going to assume always assume the worst. I'll choose this one then. Don't want to be with someone that's annoying. Don't want to be annoyed. I don't like being annoyed. Have one ear but 3 eyes, or have 3 ears but 1 eye. I mean, having 3 ears but 1 eye would be interesting from a human face design standpoint, simply because how would that even look? Where would your 3rd ear go? Would it go on your chin, on the top of your head, on your butt, on your arm, on your shoulder? I don't know where it would go. The 1 eye I would assume is like in the center of your face. However, 3 ears but 1 eye. I guess you don't see as well. I know you have 2 eyes and one of them helps with depth perception. But that doesn't seem very good. Depth perception is important, especially when you're driving. Having 1 ear but 3 eyes. This seems okay to me. because one of my ears already doesn't work. So I assume if I get rid of that one, I get 3 eyes. I can see super well now instead of seeing just like regularly well. So not much is lost for me if I choose this. Whereas choosing this one, like, what if I just get a cosmetic eye, right? What if my ear is just purely cosmetic and I still only hear through one ear? And again, I like having depth perception. It's important to have depth perception when you're driving, when you're like doing things. Also, having one eye looks kind of freaky, no? 3 eyes can be debatably cool. Have everyone in the world be slightly smarter than you. Have everyone in the world be moderately stronger than you. Well, if everyone in the world is slightly smarter than me and I'm the dumbest person on earth, that's fine with me. I don't mind being stupid, right? The world could be better than that. If I'm smarter than the average person, then having me be the new world's dumbest is probably better for the world, because it would raise the average IQ or the intellect or whatever you want to call it, right? So that would be good. Have everyone in the world be moderate. This would also be good. I'm probably stronger than the average person simply because I actually do regularly work out. So my gym's no longer on fire. They reopened recently, so been getting back into it. But it would also be kind of freaky to see a child be stronger than me. Just see a child like casually deadlift like 495 would be really, really freaky to me. I don't want to imagine that amount of muscle mass on like a 5-year-old. That would scare me. But it also, again, this would also be good because people being stronger means, actually no, this one would always be good. Maybe some people's skeletal structures can't support the muscle mass, whereas there's not really a downside to being smarter, I suppose. I'll choose this one. It's probably better for the world overall. I don't mind being the stupidest person on Earth. I can take it. I'm already pretty stupid. But I'm going to assume I'm smarter than the average person because 1, I'm arrogant and conceited, and 2, I'm super cool and very smart. Have incredibly strong legs and weak arms versus have incredibly strong arms and weak legs. Well, can't you just train to make up the difference, right? If you can train to make up the difference, can't you? I'm assuming by incredibly strong legs, they mean like, what level? I guess like world record levels of strength. And if it's world record levels of strength, then you'd have to, that would be what, like a 1,000-pound squat and like a 900-pound bench. And I'm using bench in terms of upper body strength. I know technically there's like other lifts you can use as well. I think it's more useful to have stronger legs simply because people walk everywhere, right? And also, if you have incredibly strong arms, then that means like your arms are heavier. Your legs are going to take a toll walking the like having to carry all those arms everywhere, you know? Your legs support all of your weight, so having incredibly strong legs is much more functional. It's much more useful. And plus, if I have to train my arms more to make up for the disparity in strength between arms and legs, I do enjoy arm training. I like my overhead presses, my curls, my skull crushers. So again, strong legs because it's more functional, and because to train to make up the deficit, I'd rather do extra arm days than extra leg days. Would you rather always fall in love too easily? Always have a very hard time falling. This just seems like you get attached too quick, no? Always fall in love too easily. It's just you're catching feelings too quick. Is that what the kids call it nowadays? Always have a hard time. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. It's just like maybe you have... I was going to say maybe you have standards versus other people, but then it just seems like that just seems kind of low though, no? I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's really you fall in love. I think it's just something you find yourself in as opposed to falling for it. Or it's a choice you make as well. You can choose to love somebody, you know? You can choose to devote your time and efforts to somebody or not. You have it's not like completely out of your control. This one just seems like you have some type of attachment issues. This one seems like you're just waiting a little bit. You're just scouting waiting for the correct person, which is a better idea. IMO. 68. All right, cool. I thought most people are hopeless romantics that would choose the first option. Would you rather be unable to speak at all, mute, or have to say every thought that comes into your mind out loud? I guess if you're unable to speak at all, again, you have that excuse to get out of social interaction. You just be like, oh, you just do the sign language, or you give them the slip of paper saying, hey, I can't speak. That way you don't have to ever have any awkward social interactions. However, if you have to say every thought that comes into your mind out loud, that can make for some awkward moments, because then you'll voice the intrusive thought. Someone hands someone who like recently had a child. They hand you your baby. Someone who let me rephrase this. After having to say every thought that comes into your mind out loud can lead to some very awkward situations as well. Like, someone who's recently had a baby, and they hand you their baby to hold, and you're holding it, and you just think to yourself, I could drop the baby right now and kick it. And then you'd have to say that out loud, and then everyone will look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And even you should probably look at yourself like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because you just had your intrusive thought that you can't contain because you have to say everything that comes into your mind out loud. That would be incredibly awkward. And I understand that, like, even though you don't actually think you should do that, it's like a moral judgment. It's just the mind's way of making sure the mind functions properly. It's not about the intrusive thoughts, but it's about how you respond to the intrusive thoughts. It would still lead to very awkward situations that are very difficult to navigate, and that would be very hard to explain away. But even then, not too bad if you stay inside all day as well. And it could lead to some content. Hey, I'm just saying. People say that they like watching people yap, so this could be a bit of a content thing as well. For this reason, gotta do it for the content. No? Guess not. Only 36%. Would you rather relive 5 years of your life or erase 5 years of your life? Do they have to be continuous? Could it be like, I'm gonna erase last year. I'm gonna erase when I was like 10 years old. I'm gonna forget completely, and I'm also going to erase all the other stuff. Or could you choose, like, what is it? 365 times 5 is 1,825. So I thought, or could you just choose 1,825 days randomly? Because I don't remember everything that happened to me in the past, like, 10 years. They happened, but I don't remember the exact details. I know they occurred. I know some of the major events that went on, right, in the last 5 years, like COVID and all that other good stuff. But I don't remember the day-to-day details, the specific ins and outs. Relive 5 years of your life. What would I relive? What would I choose to relive? I mean, I guess if you erase the last 5 years of your life and you erase the impact, the effects they've had on you. Let me fix that. You erase the effects they had on you, you'd have to be careful on what you select, because sometimes, like, different events shape you in different ways, or events shape you in ways that you don't quite expect. You might have some type of subconscious reaction. But if I were to relive 5 years of my life, what would they be? Would they just be the first 5 years of my life? Being an infant was pretty cool. Being a toddler was nice, I guess. Would I be reliving them with, like, the consciousness I have now? What else was good? Being in school sucked. Being in elementary school was okay, even though it didn't seem like it at the time. It was alright. Being a middle schooler kind of sucked. Being in high schooler kind of sucked. Being a college student kind of sucked. Being a person after college kind of sucked. I mean, I guess they all have their downsides, but what has the most downside? I for sure would not choose high school. I don't think there's any sane person here who would choose to relive their high school days unless they're like Uncle Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite and he gets no chance to, like, throw the football over the mountains and win the state championship. But at the same time, I also don't know what 5 years of my life I would erase, simply because I don't really know what effects it would have on me. I'm okay with the person I am. I've come to terms with myself, my selfness, my identity. I don't want to erase that. I don't want to alter that. It's like when you're doing some programming, you erase a line and then suddenly everything stops working. You don't know why. I guess relive 5 years of my life, and it would be like when I'm a toddler and when I'm in kindergarten. I guess. Maybe I would choose one of my teenage years. Were my teenage years fun? Not really. Being a teenager sucks also, just inherently. It's like Is there anything good about being a teenager? There were some good moments in the suck, but for the most part, being a teenager sucks, no? No? I think most people are of the same mind where they would just relive like their best moments. Would I rather be the funniest person alive or be the most attractive person alive? You see, the joke's on this question because I'm both. I am both the funniest person alive and the most attractive person alive. Want to hear a knock-knock joke? All right, but you gotta start it. I can't choose. Which one? Gotta choose funniest. You see, attractiveness is subjective and so is comedy to an extent. But I like making people laugh more than I like making people swoon, I suppose. I don't want to be attractive. Being attractive is gross. Being attractive is for losers. All the real cool people, the most attractive person, the most attractive thing about somebody is how funny they are. Choose be the funniest person alive. Really? 53%. This is... I'm surprised. I didn't know everyone wanted to be attractive. Just embrace your hideousness. The Hunchback of Notre Dame wasn't that terrible, you know? I don't think it's that bad to be a hideous monster. Speak all language fluently. Master every musical instrument. Again, from like a use standpoint, from just a utilitarian standpoint, speaking every language fluently was super useful because you can do so many things. You can talk to so many people. You can do whatever you want, almost. But from like a existing standpoint, from just like a being alive standpoint, mastering every musical instrument seems fun. You can express yourself in so many different ways. So, what languages would I speak though? Maybe speak all languages fluently or master every musical instrument. I'm leaning towards master every musical instrument simply because I've always wanted to like master an instrument, but I also don't want to put the time into learning and mastering an instrument, right? And speaking every language fluently is nice and all, but there is also the fact that like technology can kind of do that as well. We do have things like DeepL translations in order to communicate more effectively with our fellow man. And like you can't have a machine master an instrument for you. This is an art, so to speak. This is a skill that can be trained, it can be practiced, but it can also be eliminated completely if machines are good enough at translating for us, I guess. I don't want to be like AI good, but having machines help translate things is useful, right? Whereas a machine cannot master like the violin for me. That's something only I can do. It's an artistic endeavor that only a human can do, and only a human can play with like soul and things like this, you know? For that reason, master every musical instrument is a more human endeavor. Speaking all the languages fluently, great, cool, fantastic, but you can have computers help you with that. Only celebrate your birthday versus only celebrate the birthdays of others. I'd much rather only celebrate the birthdays of others. I really don't care about my birthday. What do I do for my birthday? I got myself a cake, I eat it. I get my happy birthday text from family and relatives, and I say thank you, and then I just go about my day as usual. I'll play video games, sleep, read, regular day. Birthdays of others is fun though, you know? They like to do things, they want to go out, eat fancy meals, do all the fun stuff. Yeah, I'm down. We can go do that. It's always more fun to celebrate someone else than to celebrate yourself, in my opinion. Also, if you're celebrating your birthday, you have to... I feel like you, for the most part, you have to plan a party of some sorts. You have to gather your friend group, your family, say, hey, we're going to do this, that, this. Ooh, excuse me. And so, part of celebrating your own birthday is also kind of a hassle, right? Whereas if you're celebrating someone else's birthday, they're making the plans. You're there to have fun. So it's also a little bit greedier, even though this seems like the more selfless option. It's greedier in that like it's taking the burden of planning off of you and putting it on someone else, but you still got to celebrate and get them gifts and all that other stuff and have a good time. I think most people think like me, where they're like, I don't really celebrate my own birthday that much. Stay in high school your entire life and make $100,000 a year. If you're in high school for your entire life, What does that mean? Does that mean you gotta take your classes? Does that mean your job is to be a student? Does that mean your job is to like just go to school, take fucking pre-calc and now calculus for every year of your life, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, to make $100,000 a year versus be able to work your dream job but make $60,000 a year? What if my dream job is to become a professional lottery winner, huh? Ever think of that one? Ask Mr. Would You Rather IO? If my dream job is to make $60,000, I mean, I guess it's possible that my dream job could be make $60,000 a year. And then it's just all made off of like scratch off tickets and it amounts to $60,000 a year. Oh, but I have an idea. What if my job is to be like a professional sleeper? So I sleep and I make my money while I sleep. That's my job. And then it doesn't say I can only have that one job. I can have a second job too. I can be a professional sleeper that makes $60,000 a year sleeping. And then I can also be a professional student who makes $100,000 a year. And I still make like a tenth of like the lowest paid CEO makes. Amazing. But realistically here, if it's only one job, I have to choose one or the other, which is the setup of most Would You Rathers. I think making more money is like, yeah, high school sucks, but if you're an adult in high school, pretty easy, no? Like what's the hardest subject that they're gonna throw at you that you have to take over and over again? For most people, that people would say that was math, but like that was literally what I studied in college. High school math is kids stuff, quite literally child's play for me. My mind is so massive. I am such a VTuber of enormous intellect. High school mathematics is no question to me. I don't want to sound like a nerd or anything, but like, yeah, I've done high school math before. I can do it again. It's not that bad. I suppose for me, the worst part would be writing all those English essays again. But if it's like you're taking the same class with the same teacher, just like, hey, Mrs. S, remember the essay that I turned in last year and you graded? I just changed the words a little bit and it's the exact same thing. I'm going to turn it in again. You just like pass me. Can you just have me pass the class? Wait a minute. Why would I even have to pass the class? It doesn't say that I have to like maintain a good GPA in high school. It's just stay in high school your entire life. And normally the point of high school, doing well in high school is so that you can do well, go to a good college. If you go to a good college, you can get a good job. You get a good job, you can make a lot of money, right? It's like 6 figures a year. This is quite literally the bare minimum 6 figures a year. But if it's just stay in high school for your entire life and you make 6 figures a year no matter what, then there's no point of even trying in high school. You just make the 6 figures no matter what. You don't have to get any other job. This is the job. It's just staying there. So I can just go do what I used to do in high school in classes I didn't really care for. And just say, hey, can I go to the bathroom, get dismissed, and then go to the library and do crosswords? God, I love crosswords. Easy choice. Really? Dream job? I guess more people like have an understanding of what their dream job is. Would you rather act on Broadway, act in movies, TV? So Broadway, I think, is a much more demanding occupation because you have to dance and sing to a high level as well, and act to a decent level as well, obviously. But that's for musicals. I know they put on other stage productions on Broadway. But acting in movies and TV is a much higher prestige job. I don't really know what kind of skills are transferable. I've never really acted before. But I would assume like acting in movies, they mean maybe not like Tom Cruise superstar level, but like you're a comfortable celebrity, you're a reliable cast member of a lot of decent productions and pays the bills, and it looks a little prestigious. You can tell your friends and family you're on TV, you know? Saying you're on TV sounds really cool. Saying you're on Broadway also sounds really good, but I know Broadway is not the most lucrative of industries as well. What's the saying? You can't really make a living, but you can make a killing. Then I think I read somewhere some statistic on Reddit randomly that it's like 80% of Broadway productions lose money. So I'm not sure what the numbers are for film and TV, but being able to act in movies and TV on a semi-regular basis to pay the bills brings in prestige, opportunities for it also, yeah, I guess opportunities for upward mobility as well. Because like, Yeah, the people who make it into the superstar stratosphere of acting in movies and TV are very, very small percentage. But I would assume that the percentage of people who make it into that level of stardom from Broadway are even smaller in terms of percentage. So the upward mobility is probably better for this one as well, for just comparing the two. I suppose this question is more weighted towards this one. More people answered movies and TV because I'm not sure how many people are musically inclined to act in musicals. Whereas I think the average person is more likely to select being a movie star or a TV star. Have the ability to become invisible, have the ability to read minds. All right. Ability to become... Oh, great. So, firstly, physically, the ability to become invisible is going to make you blind because the way that your eye sees things is when light enters the eye and then it like does reflections off the rods and then cones in the eyes, yada, 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 lenses and puts those images in the brain, right? But if you become invisible and the light just goes through you, then you can't see anything because there's no light going through your eyes. There's no light being reflected into the lenses and the rods and the cones. So firstly, you become invisible from like a quite literal physical standpoint, you will not be able to see. But if we ignore that fact and we assume that you can become invisible and you can see, then the only purpose, the only like use of the superpower of becoming invisible is to be some type of weird voyeur who... Weird voyeur? No? Like, what other purpose is there to become invisible? Why would I want to become invisible? Other than, it's like, be a voyeur, get out of awkward social situations. The only two reasons you would want to become invisible. And if you're gonna say rob a bank, like, they're gonna see the money floating off. You can't rob a bank when you're invisible. And they're gonna have it marked as well. Even if you do successfully rob the bank as invisible, all the bills are marked. I learned this in Hollywood. This is what I watch from watching, like, random crime movies. Whereas at least with the ability to read minds, for the most part it's annoying because people don't have coherent thoughts. But you go to Vegas, you play poker, you know exactly what your opponent has and what they're planning to do. And when your head's up in a big pot, actual lucrative skill that's useful. Or if you're in a job interview, it's like, damn, I wish this guy said this and then I'd hire him. I mean, I don't really think they think that, but maybe they do. You can use it, right? There's some type of practical use to reading minds, at least within the context of playing poker and like making money. Or you can like, I don't know, what else would you use mind reading for? You can go on national television and be a mind reader. I don't know. Being invisible, if you don't lose your sight because of the way that the light reflects in your eyes and how vision is enabled, you're literally just a voyeur. No, that's the only. Maybe it speaks to the depravity and the how much my mind is in the gutter, but this is the only use I can think of for becoming invisible. Being like a sex offender, you know. All right, so 47% want to become sex offender, 53% are logical like me. Have a lazy partner versus have a stupid partner. I don't know. I'm going to imagine that these are negative traits, but they're not like maliciously lazy or maliciously stupid, you know? They're not stupid because in a malicious way. I don't even know what I mean by that. Why did I say that? Laziness is okay. Laziness can be okay. I like to be lazy, right? Everyone likes to be lazy. So I can understand, but I can also understand why this would be frustrating. Like they're not doing their share of chores or whatever else. They're not doing their share to upkeep the household. And that would be annoying and lead to dysfunction. And a stupid person isn't necessarily a bad person. They just might not know a lot, right? That's fine. Fine to not know things. Like if you're stupid is not a moral thing. I feel like morally it's worse to be, maybe this sounds weird, but I feel like morally it's worse to be lazy than it is to be stupid. I think I'd rather have a stupid partner because like they still will put in effort to try, right? And I think that's a more appealing quality. Also, stupid people can learn things. People can be taught things. Humans can learn skills and other things. It's not like you're doomed to be stupid, you know? I think I'd rather have this because you can have a stupid partner that's loving and caring and works hard and they just don't know that many things. And that's okay. You can still like make things work. But if they're lazy and they don't want to put in work to like basic basic household maintenance and upkeep, then that seems harder to work with. It seems a little worse. Would you rather win 50,000 or let your best friend win 500,000? I'd let my best friend win 500,000. I think you'd share the wealth a little bit, especially if I was like, hey, by the way, the reason you got that 500,000 is because I let you win that. And he's like, yeah, sure, cool. Here's like 100 grand. It's like, cool. I feel like my friends are. I'm good enough friends with a lot of the people that I know that if I needed 100 grand and they recently came into 500, they'd let me have it. Any strings attached? Probably some strings attached, but not super tight. Would you rather take care of animals in a shelter or take care of children in an orphanage? Children can be pretty terrible. Children can be cruel and mean and snotty and sick and twisted. Animals are much more pure-hearted beings of goodness, in my opinion. Well, maybe not in my opinion, but like at the same time, children also need affection. I guess kids need affection. So do animals. These are both hard, though. I mean, these are both good causes. Because, yeah, children can be weird and sick and twisted, but they also need help, right? I don't think anyone's born evil. You just have circumstances tossed upon them, which warp their view and their sense of, I don't know. Maybe take care. I feel like this is slightly more rewarding. I don't know. This one's hard because the animals in the shelter. I think every animal deserves a good home. Maybe that's a little sappy. So do kids too. You know. I don't. This is a much harder task, but it's a much more worthy endeavor. Maybe. I don't know. It's harder, but I feel like this is more important. This is also important. Don't get me wrong. Get 100 million right now or receive 3 wishes from a genie right now. I will full force loophole this because you can do I wish for $100 million, and then you can do the other 2 wishes and you'd be fine. Or you can do like I wish I could wish for more wishes, and then you can wish for more wishes, and then you can just have this is essential omnipotence. But I think it's always just get the 3 wishes from the genie. Unless it's one of the genies that like twist your words. So it's like, oh, you have $1 billion, but it's all stolen and you can't spend any of it. And the IRS is going to kill you. If it's that kind of genie, hell no. But maybe even if you choose the 100 million, it's that kind of, it's acquired illegally and you can't spend it anyways, you know? You never know. You never know. I think to receive 3 wishes. I'll take my chances on like the evil genie, so I can do like I wish for $1 billion and then I wish for more things as well. It just seems smarter, right? Who's taking the 100 million? Unless they're like so scared of the genie. Get a large tattoo of a person you dislike on your back. Get a master's degree in a field you dislike. Why would I not just choose this one? What is the incentive for choosing to get a large tattoo of a person you dislike on your back? I mean, I guess maybe it's like, oh, but you have to do the whole program and do all the things you hate. It's like, well, if I don't like it that much, I'll just drop out of the master's program. No? Like getting accepted to graduate program is a pretty nice accomplishment in and of itself. That there's some merit in that, and you can say you studied something. Right? And if you go through with it, now you have a master's. This is just you have a tattoo on your back of a person you hate. There's like 0 merit here, right? There's some merit, literally 0 merit. Easy choice. The fuck? That was a dumb question. All right. Would you rather be the only child in your family or have lots of siblings? If you're an only child, you're a weirdo. I'm sorry. I have friends who are only children. It boggles my mind how you can like come out of being an only child as a sane person. I saw Arthur screen cap recently. It was DW and Arthur saying, "DW, you're not a lonely child. You're an only child. A lonely child is what you'll be after I sell you." I felt that deep in my soul. Arthur is hella funny. little children's show still has amazing comedy. I'm gonna steal that line one day. I would never want to be the only child in my family. It just feels too stressful. Seems like there'd be too much pressure to perform. In the siblings is nice though. I have 2. Whatever. I don't know what lots counts as, but at least you have company. Even if you hate one of them, maybe you won't hate another. Wear a sweatshirt. Wear a sweatshirt in 90-degree weather. Wear a t-shirt in 10-degree weather. All right, so this is gonna sound weird, or not weird, but it's gonna sound contrarian. But I hate sweating. But I would still rather wear a sweatshirt in 90-degree weather than a t-shirt in 10-degree weather, simply because hypothermia is a thing, and like getting really sick from being exposed to the cold. Whereas like just being extremely sweaty is bad, and you can probably get heat stroke, but you can still recover from it mostly, right? You can still keep hydrated. It's less of a health risk to be super sweaty in hot weather, I believe. I think, as long as you don't keep yourself exposed too long. Whereas wearing a t-shirt in 10-degree weather, if you're exposed for just like an hour even outside like that, I think you can get sick very easily, no? So even though I hate sweating, I'll choose the slightly safer option. Yeah, t-shirt in 10-degree weather. I was never one of those kids who's like, it's snow on the ground. I'm like, I'm not even cold. I'm wearing shorts. My elementary school gym teacher was like that though. My elementary school gym teacher was always wearing shorts, no matter the weather. Be hunted by a cult with modern weapons, or be hunted by a pack of lions. This is scary because 1, guns are scarier than claws and teeth. But on the bright side, if they find you, they'll kill you quicker, so you suffer less, I think, unless they like drag you back to their cult headquarters and do unspeakable things to you and torture you. That'd be terrible. But I think I'd also rather be hunted by the lions than the cult, simply because being hunted by the cult, you're being hunted by humans. Humans have a greater capacity for like reason, right? So you can't outsmart them as easily. Now, I'm not sure what the hunting patterns of lions are, simply because I've never studied the hunting patterns of lions, because that was never something I never watched a video essay about it. To be fair, I haven't watched any video essays about being hunted by cults with modern weapons either. But I'd imagine if you can try to trick the lions off your trail, maybe. You can like get away from the lions. You can take an airplane out of Africa or wherever the lions are and come back. Like, a cult can also take the plane as well, so they'll chase you around the world. Now, last time I checked, lions cannot take planes. They do not have the capability to purchase tickets or airplane tickets and be civil in the economy class of a cross-country flight. So I'll just try my luck. Live in a house that is constantly changing locations. Live in a house that constantly transforms into different styles or designs. Well, this is cool. I think live in a house that is constantly transforms into different styles or designs. I think I'd rather choose this one. Because one of the nice things about having a home is you're choosing the location, right? And so, yeah, this might be nice, constantly changing locations. But maybe one day you're in like Tokyo having a cool time living in Japan, and then another day you're like in Gary, Indiana, or fucking Ohio, and you just want to die because you're in a terrible state. You're in a terrible part of the country, a terrible state, right? And also this seems like it'd be difficult to do because there's like moving restrictions. You need certain types of visas, passports, and then the whole logistics of like, where the hell are you going to put a house? And maybe one day you're in New York City, you're just in the middle of Times Square. Like, how the fuck does that work? Whereas this one, transforming into different styles or designs, that just seems interesting. It spices up life a little bit. Now, I'm not sure if the architecture will change, but at the very least, it remains at a consistent location, and hopefully the location is good. That's why you live there, right? Maybe you live next to a supermarket or something. And you don't have to worry too much about designing anything in their house. You don't have to worry about changing that up every now and then because the house does it for you. So it seems more convenient as well. This seems more adventurous, but inconvenient. Know everything about outer space, or know everything about Earth's oceans. I think everything about outer space, so you can know about all the aliens that are out there, right? The Earth's oceans are cool and everything, but like, this is just so much more knowledge. you know, I don't want to say like bigger is better. It's not about the size of the knowledge, it's about how you use it. But there's a lot of stuff to know about space, and if you can learn about aliens, I think that'd be cool. Knowing about oceans are nice and all, but for the most part, that's limited. It's somewhat limited. Knowing everything about outer space would be interesting. Because there's just, one, so much to know, and two, like, so much we just don't understand. Make any book you touch come to life, be able to... This question is kind of a repeat of the previous questions. Let's use this one. I don't know why. Let's just use it. Have nothing in your life, have nobody in your life. The real valuable objects were the friends we made along the way. I'd rather have nothing. I'd rather be destitute and have good friends than have everything but have no friends. The real valuables were the friends we made along the way. Plus, like, if you have nothing in your life and you have good friends, at least you know your friends aren't there because, like, you're rich or something. Would you rather live in Paris but feel depressed, but live in North Korea but feel happy? I'd rather be happy. Also, why the fuck would I want to be French? You know? I am depressed French man. Oh, I will eat baguette and eat croissant. This question again. There's so many of these questions that is video game versus show. And I have like the same answer every time. Video game. Have a spouse but no personal friends. Have no spouse but have friends. What if you see? What if you have? What if you're in a polycule with all of your friends? Can we solve? Can we loophole this question hard enough? If you have a spouse but no personal friends, have no spouse but have friends, just marry all of your friends. Then you have a lot of spouses and they're all great friends, you know? You just have that polygamy going on. You can be a Mormon. You can have sister wives and brother husbands. I don't know. Just be a Mormon. Never be able to have kids, no adoption. Have 3 babies delivered to your doorstep right now. Oh, God. Oh, God. 3 babies versus... I would rather never. This is too much. This is madness. I think 1 versus no is a better question. Only be able to operate during the day. Only be able to operate during the night. So... Society likes this. Society says you should only be able to operate during the day. But me, a night owl, a person with a fucked up sleep schedule and a terrible circadian rhythm, finds themselves on the opposite side of the spectrum where I feel like I do a lot of my best work at night, but simply for like the sake of being able to go out to restaurants to eat, grocery shopping in daylight, running errands in daylight, and just like living by society's rules, I think I'd rather have this. It's easier to just live by I don't want to say it's easier, but it's what's expected of you. You give up your favorite food forever or give up your favorite drink forever? I'm assuming this doesn't include water. What is my favorite drink then? I don't really have any particularly strong feelings about drinks. If I'm talking about sodas, I guess I really like a good cherry Coke. Dr. Pepper is fire also. I'm a Dr. Pepper elitist. Dr. Pepper is my way of life. I'm kidding. But Dr. Pepper is really good. I think Dr. Pepper is a criminally underrated soda. I think too many people are on this whole like Coke versus Pepsi, Sprite shit. But Dr. Pepper, it's got like the caramel. Is it caramel? I'll just say it in the worst way possible. Dr. Pepper has the caramel taste. And it's fizzy, and it's sweet, and it's good, and it's kind of like cola, but not quite, because you have the caramel, and it just tops every other soda. S-tier drink. I would give it up. I like my favorite food a little too much, and I'm perfectly fine drinking water for the rest of my life. And like, I don't really have a clear-cut favorite drink. I have a bunch of drinks that I enjoy drinking, so like if I get rid of Dr. Pepper, at least I have other sodas. Or if I were to get rid of Coke, I have Dr. Pepper. If I get rid of like some alcohol drink, I can drink other stuff. I like wine and beer. It doesn't really matter. Live in the town where you were born in forever and never see the town you were born in again. Living in the town I was born in forever is fine, I suppose. Never see the town, because I have family there, right? Yeah, I have family there. And it's not like I can't visit it. It's not like I can't go outside of the town. It's just that my permanent residence is there. That's fine. I don't mind that. I have people around, and it's in a decent location near a big city. Never see the town you were born in again. This just seems depressing. There's people, you know. This limits me. This limits me in that like there's one place on Earth I can never go. This limits me in that there's one place on Earth I always have to stay, but I can still go everywhere else and visit. Right? I can still stay for extended periods of time in other places with hotels and all that other stuff. I think I'd rather do this. I think this is simply because a lot of people are raised in bumfuck nowhere, to be honest. I'm from small-ish town, but it's also pretty close to a big city, so it's not like bumfuck nowhere. So I don't mind living in the town forever. I wouldn't mind living in the town forever. Live in an amusement park. Easy. Live in an amusement park. What the fuck? If you live in a zoo, you gotta You gotta take a shit with the apes? Nah, living in a zoo is terrible. It would smell like bad. It would smell really bad. I can't imagine that like the zookeepers would. I mean, I guess the zookeepers would treat you like a human, but they'd be like, "Yo, why are you living with the animals? Don't you like have a house or something?" Living in an amusement park, at least you got the rides and the coasters and everything. Living in the zoo, you got the animals shitting and pissing everywhere, and they're like feeding time. They're making all the noise. Everything's off cycle. Maybe there's like some exotic bug or something that gets out and like crawls on you in your sleep. Ew. Amusement park, easy question. Improve your physical health by 50%. Improve your mental health by 50%. I know most people who are like mentally fine don't become VTubers, but I think my mental health is pretty decent. I think I'm like somewhat okay and up there in the head. I have some weird thoughts from time to time, but honestly, who doesn't? Improving my physical health by 50%, I would assume this just means I just get stronger, because my physical health is quite good all by itself. My physical health is like, I'm pretty sure my heart rate is pretty much, it's for sure sub 60 still, maybe even sub 50. My resting heart rate used to be like 42 beats per minute. Like I said before, I do go to the gym quite often, or I try to get in there 4 days a week, do a good workout. So if I improve my physical health by 50%, I assume this just means I just get stronger. And why wouldn't I want to be stronger? Mental health by 50% is nice and all, but honestly, I don't know what that would look like, because I think I'm in a decent place. Maybe it means like I have a better coping methods, better mental faculties in place, better task system in place to do things. I do have some executive dysfunction, but it's not anything that I can't deal with for now. So for now, improve physical health by 50% seems fine. Be married forever or be single forever. It's not the idea, though. Isn't the point of being married or through sickness and in health, right? Isn't that the whole point? I like that idea. It's like, this is cool if you want to party and sleep around and hook up and be engaged in that type of culture, but I was never personally super interested in that. So I've done enough partying. I've done some partying, not a lot. I think this is a sweeter option. This is the hopeless romantic inside of me. I think most people agree with me that this is like the nicer option. It's more reassuring to have someone to go through life with than to just stay alone forever. Live underground versus inhabit an isolated mountaintop. A mole person or a guru? I think living underground would be cool. I just like the idea of living underground. Honestly, I like the idea of being a mole person. Inhabit an isolated mountaintop seems interesting as well, but then you like think about the logistics of it. It's like, all right, where are you sleeping? How are you getting food? Where are you using the bathroom? How are you cleaning yourself? How are you like surviving the terrible air temperature? How are you surviving the air pressure? And yeah, there is some of that logistics as well, but there's some more resources underground. There's like groundwater. You can build a filtration system. You can build a ladder or some type of elevator to the surface to come go do your grocery shopping, and it's not as bad. I would imagine that an elevator into the underground isn't as bad as like climbing a mountain to get back home. Also, you can call yourself a mole person. I've always wanted to... It's me, the mole person. Listen to music from the 80s and 90s versus listen to music from the 2010s and 2020s. What is from the 2010s, 2020s? I don't want to listen to fucking Chainsmokers 24/7. And I like a little bit of Sabrina Carpenter, but it's not like my favorite thing ever. Most of the music I listen to is like fucking Billy Joel. Did Billy Joel put out any albums? I think he put his last album was like I want to say either late 90s or early 2000s, I think is when his last, yeah, I think it's like early, yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to say it's like early 2000s when his last album came out. But the vast majority of the music that I enjoy from Billy Joel is like 80s, 90s. And the vast majority of the music that I listen to in general is also from 80s, 90s. I guess I wouldn't be able to listen like funk or any type of electronic music that I listen to from time to time. But honestly, that's like fine with me. Perfectly fine trade-off. Also, like, I listen to musical music as well, so... Or music from musicals as well, and I find some of the 80s, 90s musicals are generally better from before as well. Live without the internet, live without air conditioning and heating. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Well, if you've lived in an Asian household, this is kind of what you've done. These things cost money. Live in an Asian household, you know what it's like. I've survived. In the winter, you just bundle up more, buy more blankets, and in the summer, you just like take more clothes off. It's livable. It sucks, but it's livable. Living without the internet sucks. It's also livable, but you're also extremely bored. I hate boredom. Only be able to swim in pools with hot water. Only be able to swim in pools with very cold water. I've done both. The thing is, when you swim in pools with hot water and you're doing like intense cardio activity, you sweat real easily. People think you don't sweat when you swim, but if you're swimming at a high enough intensity, it gets real gross. And the hot water doesn't feel good. It'll feel good initially because you won't have to acclimate to as much of a difference in temperature. Your body won't have to acclimate to as much of a difference in temperature. But if you're going to the pool to like train hard, long term, it's gonna fucking suck, trust me. Whereas the opposite is true in the pool with the cold water. If you swim in a pool with very cold water, that first jump in you do, you're going to want to kill yourself. You're going to want to swim to the bottom and bash your head on the tile floor of the pool. But as you train harder and harder, because the pool is so cold, it keeps your muscles a little more limber. It keeps your muscles from overheating. And you will still sweat if you're working hard enough. You will still sweat in the pool water. But because the water is colder, it'll keep it nice and fresh, or it'll keep you alert, I suppose, or keep your body temperature somewhat in balance. Whereas here, it's just you're going to sweat and want to die. Here, you want to die in the beginning, but you get used to it. Here, you get used to it quickly, and then you want to die by the time you finish practice. This 100%. People don't know. They don't know the swim life like I do. Be 10 times smarter than the smartest person. Be 10 times stronger than the strongest person. Who is the smartest person? How do you classify smartness? You see? Strength is a pretty objective measure. Or it can be sometimes an objective measure. So I would assume this is like, if you consider, I don't know, fucking Hafthor Bjornsson, the mountain from Game of Thrones, to be the strongest person, they just take all of his lifts, multiply them by 10. But how do you quantify smartness in this scenario? Who's the smartest person right now? Is it Terry Tao because he researches, he's like the best math researcher currently? And math is like a ambiguous term for a smart thing? Or would it be someone who has like some random person in some other random country who's just very smart because he figures things out quickly, but never applied himself academically because he just never had they just never had the opportunities to? How do you classify these things? What is smartness as a measure? What does it mean to be smart, right? It's easy to classify what it means to be strong. It's just like how much weight you can control reasonably. Whereas this is a little difficult. Is smartness like the amount of things you know, or is it how quickly you pick things up? Is it how quickly you look for patterns? Is it how good are you at learning? I think no matter what, though, no matter what metric you use to measure smartness, I'd rather be smarter than stronger, I suppose. This can still be trained, but this is a bit harder to classify and talk about. So this is a good question to end it on. I'll answer it, and then I'll end because I'm sleepy and my voice is getting down, and I'm going to stream tomorrow as well. So, fart in public or burp in public? So let's think about this logically. Both smell bad, right? This is undeniable. Both smell like well, they don't both smell like shit. I would say farts smell more like shit than burps, whereas burps smell more like your stomach and what you ate last. But I think it's a little more socially acceptable to burp in public than to fart in public, even though it's more noticeable that you're the one burping than you're the one farting. Because you can like walk by a crowd and crop dust through them when you fart. But then if they identify you, you have to live with that shame. Burping and you just do it, and it's like, oh, excuse me. A little more socially acceptable. I don't know. Farting is grosser because it smells like shit, and nobody likes shit. Most people don't like shit. And burping is, again, more socially acceptable, so therefore you can like cover for it. It's more okay. It's not as much of a hassle to deal with. You do your little burp, and then you're like, oh, excuse me, had some of the burp juice this morning. I don't know. Yeah, I had some burp burgers the other night. I don't know. So it's like not too bad. It's bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not like farting in public where they're like, did that guy just shit himself? You know? If your fart is especially terrible, you might have some passerbys just wondering to themselves, I think that guy just shit himself in the middle of the street. So, on that note, good night. I'm fucking tired. And also, my voice is starting to sound real raspy. I'm starting to sound like I smoke 13 cigarette packs a day. And a little dry here. So, I think tomorrow, also streaming. What should I do tomorrow? Because my Sundays now are just like random shit. I just have this stream 9 p.m. EST that I've had on my schedule for like a year now. Not a year now, but just ever since I started making the schedules. Probably Tactics Ogre. I will be the one that beats all of the uphill battles. I will be God's strongest soldier fighting his hardest uphill battles. So tomorrow, that's what probably I'm going to do. And then, what will I do next week? Next week, I'm probably still more Tactics Ogre Nier, and I'll try to throw in one of these more interesting streams every now and then where I'm just kind of yapping, doing some other random shit. But anyways, I'm voice hurt, Tommy hurt, all those other good stuff. So, good night. I hope you enjoyed watching me spew my verbal diarrhea. I'll see y'all tomorrow, like I said. Hopefully. Good night. Thanks for being here too.